everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. First stream on the new channel, super exciting. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Emily. This is my first stream on this channel, but not my first stream. I have a main channel that I do music streaming. This is my first time playing this game on PC. I've always played it on Xbox, which is why I opted for an Xbox controller. If I'm doing like weird things to kind of get around like the keyboard, it's because my new microphone is like right over the keyboard, and this is not ideal placement. This is just temporary. But while I kind of work on merging old setup into new setup, things are kind of just where they fit, and I'm making it work. But yeah, what was I saying before? I think everybody has like a preference about this game, whether they think keyboard, mouse is better than controller. I don't know which is better, I just know this is what I'm comfortable with, so that's what I'm going to do.
Secure connection confirmed. Please log in to access.
I don't know about you all who have played this game before. I always leave her name as Jane. Just to me that seems like that's her name, you know, that's her first name. How's game volume now? Let me know if I need to adjust it up if you can't hear.
Detected. Please reconstruct profile. Confirm pre-service history.
So, let's see. I've been debating if I should play this like the way I typically play it, or if I should take input from you all. I think I'm gonna do a mixture. There are some things like I kind of insist on playing a certain way. Those of you who've played before probably know some of the things I'm talking about, but there's some things that kind of like open to on each playthrough. Also, just while we're out there, I don't think I have this like published formally anywhere on my rules or whatever, but let's not spoil people in the chat. I have played this many times, so I won't be spoiled, and I'm open to like suggestions and requests for like how to play certain things. I might veto them, but I'm open to it. But like for the sake of anyone in chat who has never played before and doesn't want to be spoiled, let's use veiled language when like talking about things that are coming up or requests you might have for me to play it a certain way. Like I said, you won't be spoiling me. I know like everything that happens in this game, except in my most recent playthrough, I learned for the first time how to detonate the grenades on purpose in the first one. I had just been playing like sitting there like making a sandwich or whatever while you wait for them to go off, and it was this most recent playthrough that I learned how to actually detonate them manually, so that was kind of my dumb moment for that playthrough. But yeah, so veiled language in the chat if you're talking about what's coming in the future of the game, but don't worry about spoiling me. Let's worry about like just spoiling anybody who's watching and experiencing this for the first time and doesn't want to be spoiled. So my personal favorite background is Earthborn War Hero, so I might do that. But I also like Spacer because if you play that background, your parents are still alive, and there's that, and that comes up like later, not in a big way, but in kind of a cute, small way. But I think I'm gonna go with like my personal favorite. I'm gonna go with Earthborn and War Hero.
Psychological profile. Confirm military specialization.
Okay. So open to input on class as well. I have played every class now at this point. I'm almost done with a playthrough on the Xbox of Sentinel, my first Sentinel playthrough, and it's been fine, but I'd rather not repeat that. It's not my favorite class. It's okay. Like, I don't hate any of them. So I'd rather not do Sentinel because I like Vanguard a lot. So that's the one I am leaning towards if it's my choice. Soldier's fine, but I kind of miss having the biotics and the tech attacks. I kind of lean more towards like the combo classes. So like Engineer is also fine. I would say probably Infiltrator and Vanguard are my favorites. And then Adept is probably the one I've played probably the most, actually. I really enjoy that one too. I like a bit of the biotics, the space magic. So if you've got a recommendation or a request, feel free to shout it out. I think I'm gonna go Vanguard if nobody else has a request. open to anything, like I said, except Sentinel, because I've just done that. Oh, I left my water far away. Excuse me. I was prepared and brought it up here, but didn't put it somewhere nearby. Since I think Clarinet is going well. I'm actually getting ready for an audition. So that's what I was doing right before stream, was practicing that material, which I'm going to be practicing some of that on the main channel in the next couple of weeks, because it's on the 23rd, that audition. But yeah, it's good to kind of like get back into a practice routine after the holiday. How about you? How is your clarinet practice going? And also your flute practice, right? You were working on some flute too, if I remember correctly. Let's go Vanguard.
Facial identification.
I'm not the biggest fan of the default FemShep. I play the original versions first, and I always did kind of a variation of like what was the original default before the official art came out, and I kind of would just like start with that as like a base and then make some changes to her appearance. I'm gonna make, so this is kind of like that the original default female Shepard. I'm going to just make some like small changes to this. I gotta make it look different from my Xbox playthrough so I don't get them confused. I'm very visual, so if I make the characters look different, then that'll help me keep it straight in my head. So I'm gonna leave her facial structure the same. And I'm gonna leave her freckles, because I like the freckles. I've never done a Shepard with like dark skin. I think like most people, when you play an RPG, you kind of like make the character look like how you look a little bit. I never try to like insert myself into the game, but I always go for like skin tone. I guess it's kind of similar to mine. Maybe someday I'll do something like drastically different. I think this is about like where she was before, but maybe a little bit lighter. I don't know. Oh, you have the Trevor Y book. Awesome. The auditions for an orchestra, kind of in the area. I'm not gonna say where, just like for privacy reasons. But it's like a reasonable drive away from Nashville. So if I did happen to win the audition, I wouldn't have to move or anything. I would just go out there for the performances. I've auditioned there a few times. I don't know why they have so much like turnover at their clarinet section. But I don't mind taking that audition. They don't charge you any money to like book a spot. There's no deposit or anything. The drive is reasonable. The repertoire is all stuff I've played before. So even though like I've auditioned before and never had, like I've never won the audition before, like I don't see a problem in taking the same audition over and over. You know, you never know. Like sometimes that's the way it works out. You audition for the same thing multiple times and eventually it's your day. But like I'm kind of approaching it more from this mindset of like the audition's more for me, like to make sure I stay on top of auditioning as much as I can, and also just because auditioning makes me a better player. So it's more about that than like me thinking, oh, I have to get this job. You know, I've got other things going on. It'd be great if I got the job, but I don't have to get that job. Also, approaching it that way like helps me take some of the pressure off, which is definitely a good thing. Does this really change? Oh, it does make her neck like super skinny. It's different kind of looking at the character builder this close versus like across the room, like on the TV. Am I going to quit my current orchestra? No. So this orchestra that I'm auditioning for, if I understand it correctly, it's like their services are kind of grouped together like over a weekend or so. It shouldn't conflict. I should be able to do both. Also, if I won the audition, there's no guarantee that they would need me for like every service. So it's just like, it's also like, because it's like a part-time like per service orchestra, if there was a conflict, then I could choose what I needed to in order to make it work, to play stick with whichever commitment like seems like it's going to be, I can't think of the right word. I was gonna say like most beneficial sounds selfish, but I guess that's true. Like whichever commitment would be more beneficial to me, that's the one I'll play, and then I'll get a sub for the other. But that's like way far in the future. I haven't even gone to the audition yet, you know? I don't like to think, some people probably feel differently about this, but I don't like to think about it in terms of like, oh, well, when I get it, or if I get it. I try to just like get to the room, get to the audition, and just play, and not worry about any of the other stuff, like the logistics that come after, you know? Because then I can find myself like spiraling, you know, thinking about all the things all the decisions I'll have to make, or all the things that could go wrong, and then it's just too much, and I've talked myself out of the job before I've even taken the audition. So I'm trying to just stay focused on preparing the repertoire and getting myself there on the day. All the rest of it will take care of itself after, if it even needs to. Face size, what does that do? Oh, I see. Kind of makes it like broader. So she's in the military, so she should be pretty fit, but we don't have to make her teensy. I'll fill her face out just a little bit more. I think we'll leave all of this basically the same. Her ears, I'm sure, are fine. Let's do hair before we do eyes. My current Shepard that I'm playing through, excuse me, downstairs on the Xbox is a redhead. So let's, oh, I like the brown. We'll do brown. I don't think I've done brown. I've done like black, I've done red, I've done blonde. Let's do brown. I usually go for like the updos as well. Oh, it's so annoying that in like this is the one, I think you can't quite see it, but so it's kind of like an S-shaped bun. Excuse me, I've still got this cough I can't seem to get rid of. I had a sinus infection like 2 months ago, and part of it's allergies, but like this like very like tiny minor like dry throat cough just will not leave me alone. Let's see, what's this one? I could do that. Do like big top knot bun. I wish the ponytail didn't have like the little wispies in the face. There's something about the wispies in the face that look kind of funny. I wish I could turn her head all the way around so I could see the back, because I always forget which is which. Oh, that's like a low bun. Short hairstyles are fine too. I just feel like if I were her, if I were a soldier doing like intense fighting things, I wouldn't want my hair in my face the whole time. So that's why I like it pulled back better. This one's cute. We'll do that. Let's see. Before I do her brows, I'm gonna no. I'll go back.
Facial identification.
I'm gonna take her scars away. Might be controversial, but I like her without the scars. So no scars. Okay. Brows. That's like a thick brow. Some of them look kind of funky. I think this one on the other playthrough. So let's go with either those. They're a little thin. Let's do these, and they should be like a hair lighter. That's too light. What is the rule? Like if your hair is dark, your eyebrows should be like one shade lighter to look natural, and if your hair is light, they should be like one shade darker, something like that. So not that. There's something that goes funny in the second game with the eyebrows though. If they're like a lighter color, they like disappear. It's really funny. These? I'm like leaning in to look because I'm trying to see what color they actually are. I think that's close. I'm getting nitpicky probably. Those look too dark. Those look too light. So, but those look kind of red. We don't want red. Those? I could always look in the preview, see how it looks, and then change it if I want to. So let's do her eyes now. I'm not going to change the shape or the height. I'm just going to change the color. Let's see. Ooh, the gray is pretty. Those are also kind of gray, but like a darker gray. That's also gray. They have a light gray. That's red. Maybe I'll go with the brown. Just do brown. Brown eyes and brown hair. I've never done that before. Let's see. Time for makeup. Not too much. I mean, I suppose military ladies could wear full face of makeup if it were me. If I were in the military, I don't think I would wear like full-on makeup every day. The blush colors are all very light, but I don't hate that. Let's do her eyes and then I'll do her lips. I like that. That's pretty simple. Look at that. I like the dark color. I think the dark color is pretty. I don't think it's super practical, but I think it's pretty. Oh, why not? I'll go with the dark color. I think I'm gonna go with the matte version, not the shiny version. Cool. I think that works. Let's see how this looks.
Profile reconstruction complete.
I think it works.
Identification.
Does anybody else get
confirmed.
super like picky with their character setup? Like I feel like if I'm going to leave it the same and live with it through 3 games, I want it to look nice. But I also like it to be sort of, I guess realistic is the right word. Let's see, I'm going to play on Insanity because that's what I like to do. Am I always super good at it? No, I'm not. Absolutely not. But that's how I like to play. I like the challenge. I think we're good.
Well, what about Shepard? Earthborn, but no record of her family.
Doesn't have one. She was raised on the streets, learned to look out for herself.
She proved herself during the Blitz, held off enemy forces on the ground until reinforcements arrived.
She's the only reason Elysium is still standing.
We can't question her courage.
Humanity needs a hero, and Shepard's the best we've got.
I'll make the call.
I'm not going to read any of the stuff out loud unless somebody asks for it. So if you want me to read any of the descriptions, codices, whatever out loud, just mention it in the chat. If there's anybody who's like audio only who needs that, just let me know. I'll make sure everything stays on screen for a minute so that you all can see it, but I'm not going to read everything.
The Arcturus Prime relay is in range. Initiating transmission sequence.
Commander?
We are connected. Calculating transit mass and destination. The relay is hot. Acquiring approach vector. All stations secure for transit. Board is green. Approach run has begun. Hitting the relay in 3, 2, 1.
Thrusters, check. Navigation, check. Internal emissions sync engaged. All systems online. Drift, just under 1500K.
1500 is good. Your captain will be pleased.
I hate that guy.
Nihilus gave you a compliment, so you hate him.
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead, so that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
Let me know if game audio is still good. I've been trying to keep an eye on the level, and I think it looks okay, but if it's too low, let me know and I'll turn it up. Also haven't had a conversation about Renegade choices versus Paragon choices. I kind of settle somewhere in the middle. I've played both. And when I say played Renegade before, I mean except for certain choices. If you've played before, you probably know some of the ones I'm talking about, where I always go Paragon. I think I'm going to do a mixture for this playthrough, which gets a bit tricky in this first game because you can wind up without enough skill points to be effective in certain situations. So I think I'm going to go for like a Paragade mix, but slightly more Paragon than Renegade. There are a few places where I like to go Renegade, even if I'm doing a Paragon playthrough, just because I feel like the situation calls for it. If anyone here wasn't here for like the very, very beginning of stream, this is not a blind playthrough. I've played this game many, many, many times. First time on computer, first time, or on PC rather, first time on stream. But yeah, I'm gonna go for a bit of a mixture. Maybe every now and then pause for input and you can tell me which you would like. I believe I have delay turned off on the chat. Andrew, if you could keep an eye on that for me, or just like check and see if there's a delay. Or if there is, it's only just like a couple of seconds so that Andrew, who's modding for me, can take care of anything if anything comes up. For those of you who haven't been on my stream before, Andrew is my husband and he very kindly moderates for me when he can over on my main channel and now also here. So yeah, so you should be able to chime in with if you have a suggestion or a request as to how I should play something. Also good with just choosing on my own, but I might veto in certain instances. Also, thank you for the follow, Raiku Zephyr. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Also, I hope you all like the notifications. I put the little notification, little T-Rexes, little alert box. I have alerts in my music stream, but they're a little bit smaller. I thought I'd try something else, something fun. The little T-Rexes were cute, so that's what I'm doing. Also, I thought I had the chat box on stream. Maybe I've missed it. Maybe it just already like cycled out, but I don't see it in my playthrough. Haven't decided if having the chat overlaid is something that I'm really into, but I thought I would experiment with it. We'll see. But anyway, so my version of Paragade usually means nice to my crew, nice to my friends, but the assholes get what's coming to them. So that's how I'm going to play it this time.
They don't send specters on shakedown runs.
So there's more going on here than the captain's letting on.
Joker, status report.
Just cleared the mass relay, Captain. Stealth systems engaged. Everything looks solid.
Good. Find a comm buoy and link us into the network. I want mission reports relayed back to Alliance brass before we reach Eden Prime.
Aye, aye, Captain. Better brace yourself, sir. I think Nihilus is headed your way.
He's already here, Lieutenant. Tell Commander Shepard to meet me in the comm room for a debriefing.
You get that, Commander?
He sounds angry. Something must have gone wrong with the mission.
Captain always sounds like that when he's talking to me.
Can't possibly imagine why.
I did choose Vanguard, didn't I? Yes. Don't have any points yet. Someone sat, wait, or do I? Do I have points? I do. I can't see them through my mic arm. I'm gonna change my setup and make it a little bit better. I'm gonna see me like lean around my mic arm. Cause like I said, brand new microphone. Got an arm that's clamped to the desk, but the desk that these monitors are currently on is too chunky for it to clip onto, so it's like clipped onto the edge of the other desk and then like leaning this way. All temporary while we work on kind of like migrating old setup into new setup. Right now it's two separate things. I'm working on it. It's gonna take a minute. Yeah, see, I have 3 points, so I know It's pistols and shotguns. And what I was gonna say is, like, when you do multiple playthroughs, you get to unlock like bonus skills, which I find super helpful. Like right now, the playthrough I'm almost done with downstairs on the Xbox. I'm doing a Sentinel, and like I added like sniper rifle to it as my bonus skill, just because I like the sniper rifle. So I would totally have done that here on this playthrough, except didn't have the option because it's my first time on this version of it. So let's see. I like to get the points into charm and intimidate pretty early, but I also like to get them into, like, obviously the damage causing skills. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one in pistol. Oh, I'll go ahead and do 2 in pistol and 1 in charm. And I'm also gonna go ahead and save for good measure.
I'm telling you, I just saw him. He marched by like he was on a mission.
He's a Spectre. They're always on a mission.
I grew up on Eden Prime, Doc. It's not the kind of place Spectres...
Oh, I forgot to talk to Presley.
Congratulations, Commander. Looks like we had a smooth run. You heading down to see the captain?
Sounds like you don't trust Arturian guest.
Sorry, Commander. Just having a chat with Adams down at engineering. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. But you have to admit, something's odd about this mission. The whole crew feels it.
You think the Alliance brass is holding out on us?
If all we're supposed to do is test out the stealth system, why is Captain Anderson in charge? And then there's Nihilus. Spectres are elite operatives, top covert agents. Why send a Spectre, a Turian Spectre, on a shakedown run? It doesn't add up.
What do you know about the stealth systems?
I just know it masks our location from scans and sensors. Cutting-edge technology. The Normandy's the only ship with this prototype drive. But why are we fully staffed? A skeleton crew would be cheaper, less chance of security leaks too. Plus there's Nihilus. It's pretty obvious this shakedown run is just a cover.
For what?
Damned if I know, Commander. We're out here on false pretenses. I'm not a fan of being left in the dark.
You don't trust Nihilus?
I don't like Turians in general. It runs in my family. My grandfather fought in the First Contact War, lost a lot of friends when the Turians hit us.
That was 30 years ago. You can't blame Nihilus for that.
No, I guess not. But it still makes me nervous to have a Spectre on board, especially a Turian. We're an Alliance vessel, human military, but Nihilus doesn't answer to the captain like the rest of us. Spectres operate outside the normal chain of command, and they don't come along just to observe shakedown runs. Nihilus looks like he's expecting some heavy action. I don't like it.
Do you have a problem with the captain?
No, man. But I can't figure out what he's doing here. Captain Anderson is one of the most decorated Special Forces officers in the service. If he melted down all his medals, he could make a life-size statue of himself. You don't send a soldier like that on a do-nothing mission. He's treating this shakedown run too seriously. Something big is going on.
I'll see if I can get some answers when I see him.
Good luck, Commander.
Presley's a little bit space racist in the beginning, but I like that he kind of comes around. I'm gonna be careful not to like spoil things for those of you who haven't played before. If there is anybody watching who has never played and wants to never ever be spoiled, or at least as much as possible, please say so in the chat and I will do my best. In general, I'm gonna try to like use veiled language when talking about things that happen later in the games, or avoid talking about it at all. I'm going to ask everybody in the chat who has played before to do the same. But like I said, it's not my first playthrough. I'm going to also click through all the dialogue for anyone who's maybe never played or never seen it before. And I'm also going to do my best as I remember to click through the dialogue in the way I feel like makes the best flow, or makes the most sense, or makes the best story. Again, when I remember to. But if I miss something, if I feel like I've done it enough times that I'm not likely to miss something, but if I do, and you're aware of it, let me know and I'll go back and like go through a conversation again or whatever. That's one of the great things about this game, is that there's so much. so many different ways to experience it that it's possible to have played it through one time or even multiple times and not gotten everything there is to experience. So if there's something, it's possible we could find something that you all are aware of that I've missed entirely, like just somehow, you know. So feel free to like say so if you notice something like that.
What do you think, Commander? We won't be staying on Eden Prime too long, will we? I'm itching for some real action.
I sincerely hope you're kidding, Corporal. Your real action usually ends with me patching up crew members in the infirmary.
You need to calm down, Corporal. A good soldier stays cool even under fire.
Sorry, Commander, but this waiting's killing me. I've never been on a mission like this before, not one with a Spectre on board.
Just treat this like every other assignment you've had and everything will work out.
Sure it will.
Easy for you to say.
Sure it'll be fine.
You proved yourself in the Blitz. Everybody knows what you can do. This is my big chance. I need to show the brass what I can do.
You're young, Corporal. You have a long career ahead of you.
Sure he does.
Don't do something stupid to mess it up.
Don't worry, ma'am. I'm not gonna screw this up.
Of course not.
What can you tell me about Nihilus?
Turians are generally well respected by the other species. Their fleet has more patrols protecting Citadel space than any other. They don't always get on well with us, though. Some people find them too rigid. Others still blame them for the First Contact War. As for Nihilus, I haven't said more than 2 words to him. He usually only speaks to the captain.
I hope we get a chance to see him in action. I heard Nihilus took down an entire enemy platoon all by himself.
What do you know about the Spectres?
Only what I've heard. Spectre agents work directly for the Citadel Council. They usually work alone or in small groups. Spectres don't have any official power, though. Basically, they're a shadow organization with a mandate to preserve and protect galactic stability.
Protect it at any cost. Don't forget that part. Spectres operate above the law.
Why don't we have any of our own people in there?
Spectres usually come from the Council races, like the Turians. We've been trying to get a human accepted into their ranks for years now. So far, it hasn't happened.
Hey, Commander, you'd make a good Spectre. You're a war hero, right? Held off an entire enemy fleet during the Blitz single-handed? That's the kind of talent the Spectres are looking for.
This is all just wild speculation. The Spectres aren't interested in recruiting humans, no matter how capable.
How do you control agents with unlimited power?
I suppose the Council could revoke the Spectre status of an agent who got out of hand. At that point, Citadel Security Services would take over.
Those C-Sec grunts wouldn't stand a chance. The Spectres were 20 ordinary soldiers. The Spectres police themselves. An agent goes rogue, they send another agent to take him down. That's Spectre justice.
The Corporal's confusing romantic legends with reality, Commander.
You're from Eden Prime, aren't you, Jenkins? What's it like?
It's very peaceful, Commander. They've been real careful with development, so you don't have any city noise or pollution. My parents lived on the outskirts of the colony. At night, I used to climb this big hill and stare across the fields back at the lights from the main settlement. It was gorgeous. But when I got older, I realized it was a little too calm and quiet for me. That's why I joined the Alliance. Even Paradise gets boring after a while.
Any idea why Eden Prime was chosen as our destination?
Not really sure, Commander. Eden Prime's one of our most stable colonies. Good place to take the Normandy for a shakedown run, I guess. No real danger there. There's gotta be something else going on. We've got a Spectre on board. That's why I'm so wound up. I can't wait for the real mission to start.
I think that's everything.
The captain's waiting for me.
Goodbye, Commander.
What music notation software do I use when I'm practicing? Like for like doing arrangements and stuff, I use MuseScore because it's free. Most of my practicing is just sheet music. Like for the orchestra and like the stuff for Twitch for streams over on the main channel, I use the IMSLP app on my iPad, like to download parts for the orchestral pieces I need for that kind of stuff. And like if I have a PDF of something, I'll add it to that. Sometimes I scan the stuff I have in hard copy and add it in just like for making things easier, but like usually I just grab the hard copy and carry it with me, like if I'm doing chamber music or anything like that. But as far as like my arrangements and that kind of stuff, like writing stuff out, I use MuseScore because it's free and I like it. Although they did like a big update / overhaul, and I've only used it once since then, and I'm not sure I love it. I'm not sure I hate it, But I'm not sure I love it. But also, like, I'm not great with change. So the fact that they changed it, like, is already going to be, like, a vote against it for me. So I will get back to you on whether or not I like the update, whatever they're calling it. It's got, like, MuseScore 4 or something like that, whatever they're calling it. I'm not sure I love it yet, but I spend a little more time with it.
Commander Shepard, I was hoping you'd get here first. It will give us a chance
Yeah, I do notate the music, like, with the Apple Pencil and IMSLP. Yeah, that's how I use that. I tried using the Apple, like, Files app for a while, but it kept running into bugs, like it would crash, or it would just not save my notations. And I just like the IMSLP one. It's like pretty basic, but it does everything I need it to do. I've looked at like Fourscore and some of those other like more premium ones, but I might upgrade something like that eventually. But like for now, IMSLP is working for me. And also, like, you can get into their library directly through the app to download scores. So like when the orchestra sends out the list of rep for the performance, I can just download them directly, and that just saves me time and it just feels easier. But yeah, that's what I use. Nothing super fancy, and I'm all about using the free resources as long as they're good, you know? If they stop serving me, stop helping me do my job the best I can, then I'll look into paying for like a more premium one. But yeah, for now, I really like it. Sorry, when you said like notate, I was thinking of like writing the music, like putting in the notes, you know, like I do in MuseScore when I'm doing an arrangement. I think in my brain when I'm thinking about like marking the music, I'm thinking annotate, which is just like the distinction that my brain makes. This is how I think of it. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
The captain said he'd meet me here.
He's on his way. I'm interested in this world we're going to, Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful.
They say it's a paradise.
Yes, a paradise. Serene, tranquil, safe. Eden Prime has become something of a symbol for your people, hasn't it? Proof that humanity can not only establish colonies across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it, really?
Do you know something?
Your people are still newcomers, Shepard. The galaxy can be a very dangerous place. Is the Alliance truly ready for this?
I think it's about time we told the commander what's really going on.
This mission is far more than a simple shakedown run.
I figured there was something you weren't telling us.
We're making a covert pickup on Eden Prime. That's why we needed the stealth systems operational.
There must be a reason you didn't tell me about this, sir?
This comes down from the top, Commander. Information strictly on a need-to-know basis. A research team on Eden Prime unearthed some kind of beacon during an excavation. It was Prothean.
I thought the Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago.
Their legacy still remains. The mass relays, the citadel, our ship drives. It's all based on Prothean technology.
This is big, Shepard. The last time humanity made a discovery like this, it jumped our technology forward 200 years. But Eden Prime doesn't have the facilities to handle something like this. We need to bring the beacon back to the Citadel for proper study.
Obviously, this goes beyond mere human interests, Commander. This discovery could affect every species in Council space.
Why didn't we keep the beacon for ourselves?
You humans don't have the best reputation. Some species see you as selfish, too unpredictable, too independent, even dangerous.
Sharing that beacon will improve relations with the Council. Plus, we need their scientific expertise. They know more about the Protheans than we do.
The beacon's not the only reason I'm here, Shepard.
Nihilus wants to see you in action, Commander. He's here to evaluate you.
Guess that explains why I bump into him every time I turn around.
The Alliance has been pushing for this for a long time. Humanity wants a larger role in shaping interstellar policy. We want more say with the Citadel Council. The Spectres represent the Council's power and authority. If they accept a human into their ranks, it shows how far the Alliance has come.
You held off an enemy assault during the Blitz single-handed. You showed not only courage, but also incredible skill. That's why I put your name forward as a candidate for the Spectres.
Why would a Turian want a human in the Spectres?
Not all Turians resent humanity. Some of us see the potential of your species. We see what you have to offer to the rest of the galaxy, and to the Spectres. We are an elite group. It's rare to find an individual with the skills we seek. I don't care that you're human, Shepard. I only care that you can do the job.
I assume this is good for the Alliance.
Earth needs this, Shepard. We're counting on you.
I need to see your skills for myself, Commander. Eden Prime will be the first of several missions together.
You'll be in charge of the ground team. Secure the beacon and get it onto the ship ASAP. Nihilus will accompany you to observe the mission.
What do you know about the Protheans?
Just what they taught us in school. They were a technologically advanced species that ruled the galaxy 50,000 years ago. Then they vanished. Nobody really knows how or why, though I've heard plenty of theories. But everyone agrees galactic civilization wouldn't exist without them.
Their citadel is the very heart of galactic society, and without their mass relays, interstellar travel would be impossible. We all owe the Protheans a great debt.
I'd like to know more about Eden Prime before we touch down.
It's a peaceful farming world, but it represents something much bigger. Eden Prime is one of our oldest and most successful colonies. It proved we were ready to face the challenges of settling new worlds, to forge a place for humanity beyond Earth. It symbolizes humanity's growth and evolution as a spacefaring species. And after this, it will be known as the world where humans made a discovery of galactic importance.
Why is this beacon so important?
All advanced galactic civilization is based on Prothean technology, even yours.
If we hadn't discovered those Prothean ruins buried on Mars, we'd still be stuck on Earth. That was just a small data cache. Who knows what we can learn from this beacon? What if it's a weapons archive? We can't let it fall into the wrong hands.
Like who?
The Attican Traverse isn't the most stable sector of Citadel space. There are plenty of raiders and criminal groups active in the region. They might figure a Prothean beacon is worth the risk of attacking an Alliance ship. Plus, Eden Prime is right on the border of the Terminus systems.
The Attican Traverse is under Citadel protection. If the Terminus systems attack, it's an act of war.
Technically, yes. But some of the species in the Terminus might be willing to start a war over this.
The last thing the Council wants is to get dragged into a major conflict with the Terminus systems. We have to keep this low-key.
Barry, I saw your chat, but I wanted to wait until there was a break in the dialogue. I'm going to do my best to not talk over the game dialogue for anyone who's watching me play as their first time experiencing the game, so they don't miss anything. But I also don't want a bunch of me just sitting here silently, so I'm going to work on finding a balance of responding to chat and not talking over the game. No, I'm not back into teaching yet. I start lessons back not next week, but the week after. Most of my students start school back on Monday, and I don't typically teach the first week back because there are always schedule changes. Somebody ends up missing some time in the first week back because they're sick. That's just always how those things work. Or there's a scheduling issue. I just don't teach the first week of a semester. I learned the hard way a couple times that if I try to schedule all lessons like normal the first full week of the semester, there's always going to be something that messes it up, whether it's an abbreviated or an alternate schedule because of some of them I think are getting their final grades from exams and stuff even the first week. So I remember when I was in school, they would do we'd have a different schedule when we needed to go to our in high school. We didn't have homeroom every day. We had what we called grade level group, and we only went to that. We had an altered schedule that allowed time for that on days when we needed to pick up report cards, pick up progress reports, whatever. Although I bet a lot of that is digital now, so I don't know if they still do that, but I don't teach the first week, but they're back just because it just makes sense not to. So I start back on, no, it won't be Monday the 16th because that's a holiday, but Tuesday the 17th I'll start back. Unfortunately, I will only see my Monday students one day this month because the 16th is a school holiday. The 23rd is my audition, so I will be away that day, and so that'll be the 30th, yeah. If I've done the math right, if I remember my days correctly, I'll only see my Monday students once. But I will start seeing most of them, not next week, but the week after. How about you? Have you started back class yet? And if not, when do you start back? I remember when I was in college feeling I started back later. I feel I started back quite a bit later than my sister when she was still in high school. She would go back the week before I did. But some colleges are different. Some start back super early. Some of my students actually start school today. The private school students are going back today, but today and tomorrow are the only full days, and they're doing a half day on Friday or something like that. Or maybe maybe today was, I don't know. It didn't make sense to start them back this week either. But also with other activities starting back not next week, but the following week, I kind of decided just to line up with that and think it'll be easier for the parents to remember if I start my lessons back the same week all the other activities start back. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like, it's been nice to have this, not teaching in December, giving myself a little bit of a break, and then having this holiday. It's been like one of those nice breaks where like I've had some time to decompress and get some distance from teaching in a way that makes me like ready to get back to it, like actually miss seeing the kids. So I'm looking forward to it. For those of you who don't know, I teach clarinet and elementary piano privately. That's like my primary gig. Most of my work comes from teaching. I perform as much as I can, but performing work is not quite as consistent or, I mean, it definitely like, well, most of the time it pays better when I can find the work, but like, you're not always guaranteed performing work, especially not in my current situation. I'm a freelancer, so I kind of take what I can find. I do a lot of subbing, a lot of filling in for people and ensembles in the area. That's what most of my performing work ends up being. But teaching is like my primary source of income. So yeah, I'll start back on the 17th, which feels like a ways away still. Like, but while I'm stopped talking about it, so I start back teaching on the 17th, week of the 16th, even though I won't have lessons on the 16th. Streams on my main channel at Emily Tyndall. It's linked on this channel page if you want to go follow over there. Music streams over there on the main channel. I will start back next week, starting on Monday the 9th. Hope I have the date right in my head. I'll be back to the Polycheck Advanced Studies for Clarinet. Whatever number it was I left off on, that's the one I'm going to start on. Also, some of you may have realized I didn't quite make good on my plan to get all of the Rose 32 edits up on my YouTube channel by the end of the year, but I gave myself a little bit of an extension. I uploaded the first Rose edit on January 12th of 2022, so I've given myself until January 12th of 2023 to finish the last 4 edits, and I feel like that's fair, so that's what I'm going to do. Also, I'm thinking about uploading these to YouTube as well on the not yet in existence Clarinet Cheat Codes YouTube channel. This Mass Effect playthrough, just something different. It'll become totally separate from the music stuff. So if you're someone who's going to come here only for Mass Effect for video game play, then you don't have to worry about like the clarinet and music stuff if that's not your jam. I don't know when I'm going to do that. I want to get my my main channel edits up first because I'm a bit behind. I'm trying to catch up. Anyway, I went on a little bit of a detour. So Polycheck like normal on Monday, and then Tuesday Technique Tuesday like normal. Fridays over on the main channel might be a little bit different. With this audition coming up, I might put Flute and Francais Friday on pause for a bit and use the Friday stream time to practice for my audition. I know that might be a little bit repetitive, but it's only for a couple of weeks, and that's the only way I can like make sure I get enough practice time, but also make sure I don't have to miss stream time in order to practice for my audition. But I'll also like ask you all to be patient with me if I have to like miss a stream to get some extra practice in to prepare for this audition. I hope you all understand. It's only temporary, like I said. Audition's on the 23rd, and then things will kind of go back to normal. Orchestra starts back on the 10th. However, I may not be playing for this current Rahan concert series because Andrew and I finally booked our trip to Japan. We're going to Tokyo March 7th through the 21st. I am so excited. All we've booked so far is the flight and the hotel, so gotta book like fun stuff to do and all that. But unfortunately, the second of the 2 performances for that cycle, that series, is March 7th. I tried to avoid it as much as possible, but that was the day that made the most sense for us to fly out on and gave us the best price. For those of you who don't know, like typically if you need to take a flight, if you can go on like an interior weekday, you can save quite a bit of money, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that Tuesday happened to create the best price. Those dates got us the best price for the flight that we wanted. So I might be subbing out for that entire series. I've told the personnel manager that I'm happy to play one of the performances if they want to get a sub for the other. But they may decide that they want the same person to play both performances, in which case the other person will play the whole series. They might get a sub for, like an official sub for the whole series, but I might need to sub for some of the rehearsals if they can't make them all. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work out yet. But technically it starts back the 10th. I'm likely to have to play that rehearsal because they may not have someone yet, so I'll be there to play my part to make sure, you know, everybody can have a productive rehearsal. But yeah, that's what's happening with the orchestra. A little bummed I'm going to miss part, if not all, of that concert series. I was really looking forward to playing the Respighi Fountains of Rome because I've never played it before. I've played Pines of Rome a couple times, but not the Fountains of Rome. But like, this trip to Japan is kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's something we've been saving up for and planning for literal years. We had our 10th anniversary in lockdown. June 2020 was our 10th anniversary, and initially we were going to go to back to London. I did my postgrad in London, and we lived there for a couple of years, but Andrew hasn't been back since. And then like do an extended trip and also take like the Channel train to Paris. But then with like quarantine and lockdown, we realized like we really wanted to do something that like we've never done and have always wanted to do, and Japan has been on my bucket list since I was a child. Like really as a kid, it was like that thing, like that place I always wanted to go but thought would just never be possible. So we decided to like take that the funds we allocated for that trip to for like about a week or so to go to London and Paris and save up some more with extra time, you know, waiting for things to open up as well, and put it towards going a little bit bigger trip, going somewhere we've never been. So we'll be going to Tokyo for 2 weeks. I mean, really it's like 12 days because you kind of have to subtract 2 days for travel, but I'm super excited. And it's just a little over 2 months away. So obviously I won't be streaming for those 2 weeks in March, but there's plenty of time to stream fun things between now and then. But yeah, so orchestra is like kind of up in the air. They're usually super understanding and super accommodating, so I'm not worried about it being like a big issue. And we have plenty of subs who are eager to have a chance to play, so I don't think it'll be much of a problem. But yeah, so I was sad to miss a whole like series with the orchestra just because of one conflict, but that's just the way things work sometimes. But like I said, I'll probably end up subbing for them some. I won't lose my spot. I'm still principal. Like I'm not going to lose my seat. I just will be. I'll just have a sub for the series, but I may step in and play some of the rehearsals when whoever's subbing for me is not available. Which will give me a fun opportunity to like play and experience some of the music too. Oh, thank you for the follow, Hitro. I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to call you Hitro, like Nitro. I'm not sure, but thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Right, let me keep going with the game. Oh, I think we did everything. We're good.
Just give the word, Captain.
We should be getting close to Eden.
Captain, we got a problem.
What's wrong, Joker?
Transmission from Eden Prime, sir. You better see this.
Bring it up on screen.
Get down!
We are under attack, taking heavy casualties. I repeat, heavy casualties. We can't. Need evac. They came out of nowhere. We need.
Everything cuts out after that. No comm traffic at all. Just goes dead. There's nothing.
Reverse and hold at 38.5. Status report.
17 minutes out, Captain. No other Alliance ships in the area.
Take us in, Joker. Fast and quiet. This mission just got a lot more complicated.
A small strike team can move quickly, without drawing attention. It's our best chance to secure the beacon.
Grab your gear and meet us in the cargo hold. Tell Alenko and Jenkins to suit up, Commander. You're going in.
I've always thought that that looks a bit like the Master Hand from
Engaging stealth
Smash
systems.
Brothers. I thought I was kind of like the only person who thought that. No, I didn't.
Somebody was doing some.
I just never heard anybody else say that. But I was watching somebody else's playthrough recently.
Your team's the
and they were like,
muscle in
"What
this
is that, the
operation,
Master
Commander.
Hand?"
Go in
So it's
heavy
not
and head
just
straight
me.
for the dig site.
What about survivors, Captain?
Helping survivors is a secondary objective. The beacon's your top priority.
Approaching drop point 1.
Nihilus, you coming with us?
I move faster on my own.
Nihilus will scout out ahead. He'll feed you status reports throughout the mission. Otherwise, I want radio silence.
We've got his back, Captain.
The mission's yours now, Shepard. Good luck!
We are approaching drop point 2.
Ship perimeter secured, Commander.
Let's see what I've got. I'm only trained on pistol and shotgun. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and save real fast. I like to have a couple save files going just in case something goes wrong.
Commander. Hostiles everywhere.
But give me 1 second because my throat is all dry and scratchy. I'm gonna grab a cough drop. Sorry, it's gonna be really loud. I didn't realize that the microphone was like right over that drawer where I have these stashed. But because I can't seem to shake this like scratchiness to tickle in my throat, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a cough drop. I hate cough drops so much, but I guess my water's almost gone. I really wish that this whatever this is, this cough I've got would just leave me alone, would just go away. It's been like 2 months since I had that sinus infection. It's like not a bad cough at all. It's just like scratchy throat. I don't have COVID because I have to test regularly for the orchestra. Haven't had COVID as far as I know, but it's like ever since I got better, this scratchy throat cough just won't go away. It may not be linked to that sinus infection at all. It may be just allergies. If you've never been to Nashville, it's kind of like in elevation-wise, it's a bit low. Like it sits in like almost like a basin, and so like all like the air pollution and like the pollen, all that kind of stuff just kind of settles into it. And like most everybody that lives here has issues with like the air quality. So I feel like I have allergies just year-round. I'm going home to Georgia for the holidays, where I'm from, where my parents live. It's like I can suddenly breathe again, you know. Part of it's probably because I grew up there. Like I'm just more used to whatever grows and flowers there, and I'm not as sensitive to it. But here, I don't know if there's something in particular that flowers that I just am really allergic to, or if it's just like the air quality in general. But it's like anytime I have like a cold, sinus infection, allergies, or whatever, it just never fully goes away, or it takes forever to go away. So cough drop. Oh, I hate it so much, but I'll suck on it for you all.
Keep your guard up.
I hate like the menthol taste of cough drops. I don't know if anybody else agrees. Andrew's a weirdo who likes cough drops. Is there a box over here? I feel like there's a box over here. Yes, there is. Menu's slightly different than I'm used to. Did I get... Is it the same? It is. Looks different though. It's very important that I make sure that Jenkins is well outfitted. Actually, I'm taking that back. You don't get any upgrades. Let's see. Oh, I need to level up too. Or not. Or also, rather. I gotta level up Caden and Jenkins. It's super important to make sure Jenkins is well leveled up as well. Yes, I'm gonna give him first aid. And barrier, because he's a bit squishy. We are not going to shoot the cool little puffy animal things. I know they have a name. I forget what they're called, but I'm not going to shoot them.
Oh God, what happened here?
him up right. Make sure I've got this right. I'm pretty sure at the beginning. Okay, I'm good. Andrew LOLing Jenkins dying.
Rip right through his shields. Never had a chance.
We'll see that he receives a proper service once the mission is complete. But I need you to stay focused.
Jenkins did try. He tried real hard. Although, you know, if you watch it, it's almost like Shepard's like, no, you go ahead. It's like she knows. She's like, no, you go on. You go on ahead. He's like that penguin. The penguins when they're on the edge of the iceberg and they push one of them off to see if there are any predators down there. Poor Jenkins is the first penguin. Am I going the wrong way? I am going the wrong way. I do that every once in a while. I've played these games so many times, and I will just like totally forget where I'm going and head off the wrong direction. Have I finished Bowser's Castle yet? Barry, we all agreed we weren't going to talk about that. Did I beat it? No. Have I finished it? Like, am I done with it? Maybe. No, I do plan to play beat it on my own, away from stream and upload it. I just haven't done it yet. It's like one of those things. Did I go all the way backwards? Is this Jenkins again? It's like one of those things. Let me get myself unturned around with a marker. It's like one of those things. Like, I only think about it, like, that I need to do it when I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be sitting down to work on something else. He blew up the little animal. That's so rude. You didn't have to do that.
I've got some burned out buildings.
I only think about doing it when I just can't. So I will. It'll happen.
I'll try to catch up with you.
I'll either upload it to Twitch or I will upload it to the Discord as an unlisted YouTube video. But I know I owe you all an ending. I'll do it eventually. Bowser and I have beef, and I don't want to talk to him anymore. I haven't used any of my biotics yet. Can I throw these guys? I accidentally blew it up. I'm so sorry. I don't want to blow up the poor little bubbly animal-y things. I don't want to do it, but oops, I forgot. That's grenades, not reload. So you can tell I've been playing 3 because I keep hitting X when I don't need to. That's the first time I did it, but it won't be the last. But I'll hit X thinking I need to reload, and that's grenades in this game. Barry's gonna keep me honest and make sure that I go back and play the ending to Super Mario World. For those of you who haven't been here before, for Community Game Night on the main channel, I recently finished almost playing through Super Mario World, kind of doing a stream once a month. But I got hardcore stuck on Bowser's Castle and just gave up. Too far away.
Thanks for your help, Commander. Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams of the 212. You the one in charge here, ma'am?
Are you wounded, Williams?
A few scrapes and burns, nothing serious. The others weren't so lucky. Oh man. We were patrolling the perimeter when the attack hit. We tried to get off a distress call, but they cut off our communications. I've been fighting for my life ever since.
Where's the rest of your squad?
We tried to double back to the beacon, but we walked into an ambush. I don't think any of the others... I think I'm the only one left.
This isn't your fault, Williams. You couldn't have done anything to save them.
Yes, ma'am. We held our position as long as we could, until the Geth overwhelmed us.
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years. Why are they here now?
They must have come for the beacon. The dig site is close, just over that rise. It might still be there.
We could use your help, Williams.
Aye, aye, ma'am. It's time for payback.
I totally appreciate that, Barry. Yeah, I know. You were there from like pretty much the very beginning. I will try to beat it. I'm gonna do my best to get it beat and upload that ending somewhere for you to see. It's just like I was getting so frustrated with it, and I was like, I don't want to do 2 more streams trying to beat 1 level, right? On that game in particular, I was definitely feeling like the pressure to do well and like get through things quickly while on stream to like it entertaining and interesting for you all. And I was also just ready to move on to another game, so that's why we started Zelda over there. But I plan to come back. I plan to finish it just to wrap it up nicely. But yeah, I know. I need to do it. But like I said, I always think about it when it's not a good time to take care of that. And like, I'm probably also gonna make Andrew help me beat it as well. Between the 2 of us, and doing it off stream, like without the edit pressure, where I could just like edit out the actual win, like the actual final playthrough for you all. Yeah, I definitely we'll get to that eventually. You know, I'll try to get back to it sometime in the next week. We'll see. See how things go, like with my planning and getting all my teaching stuff together to get back to that. But if I can find / make the time, then I'll take care of it in the next week or so. But I gotta prioritize those Rose 32 edits first. I gotta get those done. As fun as Super Mario is, like for the main channel, you know, it's not the priority. The hopefully the musical and hopefully educational content is the priority. So I want to get those Rose edits finished and uploaded.
What else do you know about the Geth?
Just what I remember from history class back in school. They're synthetics, non-organic life forms with limited AI programming, created by the Quarians a few centuries ago. They were supposed to be a source of cheap labor, but ended up turning on the Quarians and drove them into exile. Well, after that, they just kind of disappeared behind the Perseus Veil. Nobody's really heard much from them since.
Tell me everything you know about the beacon.
They were doing some digging out here to extend the monorail and expand the colony. A few weeks ago, they unearthed some Prothean ruins, and the beacon. Suddenly, every scientific expert in the colony was interested. That's when they brought us in to secure the site. I don't know much about the beacon itself, but I heard one of the researchers say this could be the biggest scientific discovery of the century.
What happened to the researchers at the dig site?
I don't know. They set up camp near the beacon. The 232 was with them. Maybe their unit fared better than mine.
Describe what happened leading up to the attack.
We were sent out a couple of nights ago from the main colony to secure the area. Seemed like a routine patrol, until the Geth hit us. We never knew they were coming.
I think that's the same.
Have you seen a Turian Spectre around here?
Hi, Corsetti.
There aren't any Turians on Eden Prime. None that I've ever met. Not sure I'd be able to tell if one was a Spectre anyway.
If you saw this guy, you'd know. Carries enough firepower to wipe out a whole platoon. Luckily, he's on our side.
Sorry. Like I said, no Turians.
Continue to try not to talk over the game. But hi, Corsetti, great to see you. Yeah, I think it is looking pretty good for first stream. I think the camera looks okay. I'm gonna play with the settings a little more. I think sound is okay. I'm going to try to add some filters for like noise, sounds and stuff. Like I'm worried that you can hear the fan on the computer going. Sometimes it's working really hard. But yeah, so far so good. It feels a little clunky. Like my stream deck is still over there. I've got cords all kinds of places. I've got this new mic arm like kind of cutting through my view of the game. It's not blocking anything essential, so I'm doing fine. In the coming weeks, I'm going to try and start merging the two setups into one setup because I really want to get to using the new microphone for my music streams, but I need some time to experiment playing, like literally playing the clarinet with it and see how that sounds. Also, like, I am having some trouble with the audio interface, and that trouble being I don't know how to use it yet. So I've got it set up well enough to work for game. This is not my tip mic. This is the new fancy microphone. It is just not set up exactly the way I want it yet. This mic came with the interface, which I got like really lucky. I found a good deal on Amazon for like a kit that had the interface that I wanted, and microphone and the pop filter and the headphones and a mic arm for the desk, and it was a really reasonable price. So I went ahead and bought it, and I just need to learn how to use it now. But no, I think it's going to be a good fit for me. It gives me some room to grow. I won't be, like, if I continue to do this kind of stuff, I'll probably need to upgrade again, but it'll be a good, all the reviews I read said it was a good interface for like your first one. So it's everything I need for now, giving me some room to grow, but like not too many bells and whistles that I get totally confused. But yeah, now the next step is to get familiar with this computer, the setup, and then merge everything together into one streaming setup so that I don't have this like this whole like spread of stuff. For now, for like the next week or so, or next week when I get back into streaming on the music channel, main channel, I may the entire week still continue to do my streams for that from my Mac and then do game streams over here. But I want to try and start merging the two. Oh, just while I'm talking about it, for this channel, I have no hard and fast schedule as of right now. It's going to kind of be like based on the week. One of my thoughts on having this extra channel for doing fun game streams is that it can be a little more impromptu. Like sometimes I have cancellations, like students cancel, they're out sick, whatever, and I think, hey, I might want to stream, but I find that like I don't have it in me to do a last minute music stream. Like I don't have an idea, or I don't feel like mentally I'm prepared for that. And then instead of just like not streaming, I can hop on here and do a game stream with you all. So I'm hoping this will give me a little more like flexibility and more options for things to do. Also it means that like if I'm a little bit sick or something and I don't feel up to playing, but I feel like streaming a game, then I can do that, you know what I mean? And those kinds of things. Or if I've like played too much and like I need to rest physically because I've been doing too much practicing, I can do this instead. I'm sounding a little echoey. Interesting. So I'm not really sure why it's echoey. When I was testing it, I was worried that the gain was too high and it was getting too much like white noise, like ambient noise, and so I pulled it down a little bit. It shouldn't be. I don't want to fool around with it midstream because, like I mentioned at the beginning of stream, there's a little bit of clunkiness right now getting from the game window over to my Streamlabs window. Just because of like I have to like technically minimize it a bit, and it's not a big deal, but like it doesn't feel as nice and smooth as I would like. But yeah, I am going to make some changes and improvements. I did many little test records, but of course those never go quite the same as like an actual stream. But I am recording it, or actually I'm not. I forgot to hit record, which means that I'm going to have to download it from Twitch to watch it back, which means that the quality is not going to be as good. That's on me. I forgot to hit the record button. I really miss my Stream Deck. It's nice having that with little buttons I can just push. It's not gone. It's just over there. It's just not a part of this setup yet. But, whoops. Well, it's fine. I'll download it from Twitch. It won't be amazing quality, and it'll probably take forever to download, but at least it'll be there. But yes, it's going to be a work in progress. Like this whole setup, part of the reason why I was nervous to get into working with a new setup is because like I feel like I had the other one like set up to like more or less work the way I needed to, do what I needed it to do, and like changing the hardware means that it's not starting over entirely, but it is starting over to a certain extent, and I was a little nervous about that whole process. But like, it's kind of just something I'm going to have to do if I'm going to make upgrades and improve stream. So I kind of like that I'm getting an opportunity to try it without the added layer of difficulty of capturing an instrument. Capturing like the sound of the instrument well in a microphone kind of presents its own set of problems. But anyway, I think that's everything there.
The beacon's at the far end of this trench.
Is that better than what I've got? Oops. Yes. Oh, I also didn't say this, but I am trying stream. I said it earlier in stream, but for those of you who weren't here, I'm trying out Streamlabs as opposed to like normal OBS that I use for music streams. I might continue to use OBS for music stuff and then use Streamlabs for game, or I might move all the game stuff over to OBS as well. I really don't know, but I wanted to try Streamlabs because I know a lot of people like it, and it's worth experimenting with another software just to try it out, learn something new. I get all the stuff, I think so. But we leveled up 6 points. We got a ways to go before I can unlock shotguns properly. Definitely want more in charm. Put one in throw in one assault training. That'll work for now. I'm going to try and make a good habit of saving as often as I can. It's not, the autosave on Legendary Edition is much better than the original. Like, I got in trouble so many times playing the original version of the game where I would just forget to save for like hours and then die and have to play it all over again. But still, there are a lot of like places where it doesn't quite autosave, so I'm gonna try and stay on top of it. Is this just a graphics update of the original game, or are the mechanics different? The mechanics are slightly different, but
This
controls
is
are the same.
The beacon was right here. It must have been moved.
By who? Our side or the Geth?
Hard to say. Maybe we'll know more after we check out the research camp.
The combat in this first one is slightly less clunky, and I mean, it's not slightly, it's much less clunky than the original release. It's much easier to navigate, but I never minded the first game that much. I always felt like, yes, it has its quirks, but it has like rules, and once you figure out the rules and you figure out how the quirks work and how to use them to your advantage, then it's okay. I actually find the combat in the second one to be more difficult and more problematic. So it just kind of depends on your play style, but I've never been bothered too much by the combat in this first one. It is much more polished, though, in the Legendary Edition compared to the original. There are some things that were fixed, some overpowered, what's the right word? People you have to fight that are, it's a little bit more leveled. What pieces have I been working on recently? Mostly just the audition rep, which is just standard stuff. It's Mozart, exposition, and then the excerpts. It's a second E-flat audition, so there's a mixture of things, but it's all things I've played before, all the things you would normally expect to see you know, Beethoven 6, the second Part 4, Midsummer Night's Dream. The E flat excerpts are Bolero, Tilt Eulenspiegel, and Symphony Fantastique, all things that I've played before on the E flat. Other second excerpts are Tchaikovsky 5 and Bartok Concerto for Orchestra. I forget which movement it is, but it's the same excerpt that's always on every second audition. And then like the other first excerpts, it's like Rachmaninoff 3, is that the right symphony? No, sorry, Rachmaninoff 2, third movement. And I think that's right. I always get the numbers confused unless I'm looking at it. And then, what else? Beethoven 6, I said that. Capriccio Español. Brahms 3, second movement. I think that's it. Oh, Firebird variations. Oh, you're practicing E flat? Awesome. I haven't spent enough time with the E flat yet. Because, excuse me, because I've played all those excerpts many, many times. I'm kind of like prioritizing the first and second excerpts first, and then I'm going to spend a little more time on the E flat ones. But also the way these auditions typically work, you don't often, I have before, but you don't always play the E flat stuff like in the first round. Usually in my experience, which of course is limited to just the auditions I've been on, the first round they want to hear just the first clarinet excerpts or the first and second clarinet excerpts, and they usually ask for the E flat or whatever the auxiliary instrument is on the audition for like the second round. But I think one time I did play E flat in the audition room, like in the first round, so you know, I'll make sure I'm prepared on everything, but I like to kind of start with the major solos, like the first excerpts, because that's usually like, in my experience, they start there. It kind of work their way down the list, like as they refine like the list of people that they're interested in. So for like, typically, I feel like my experience is first round is for second E flat or second clarinet spots. The first round of the audition will be the first clarinet excerpts, and then the second round will be those again, or those from the list of first clarinet excerpts that you didn't play in the first round, and then the second, and also the auxiliary instrument excerpts. There are no hard and fast rules for this sort of thing. Every orchestra does it differently. Every panel does it differently. But I like to prioritize like the big solos, because I feel like really, I feel like most panels have kind of decided if they want to hear you back for the second round by the first few notes even of your Mozart exposition. Excuse me. However, I don't like to spend a crap load of time on the Mozart ahead of time, because I find that if I practice it too much, it gets really... what's the right word? It loses some of its like natural flow. I feel like if I practice it too much, it gets too like academic, and I want it to stay pretty, and I want it to feel like it's music, right, and not like a technical exercise. So I tend to just like play the Mozart a bit each time I practice, and not like have these super long, like in-depth, involved playthroughs. Okay, the chat is showing up on screen for you all. Awesome. Is it a well-known orchestra that I'm auditioning for? I would say no. It's a part-time orchestra. The pay is like decent, but not like crazy huge. So like it's a well-established orchestra. I think it's well respected in the area, but it's not like a nationally known orchestra. So it's not, which is a good thing. Those auditions tend to be less stress and less less pressure. I feel like I feel more comfortable anyway on those auditions, because it doesn't feel like the stakes are quite as high, if that makes sense.
You think anyone got out of here alive?
If they were lucky. Maybe hiding up in the camp. It's just on the top of this ridge, up the ramps.
Change of plans, Shepard. There's a small spaceport up ahead. I want to check it out.
But is
I'll
there
wait
stuff?
for you there.
I already got that stuff. So in these games, I am all about looting the stuff. I want all the stuff. I want to sell the stuff. I want to wear the good stuff. I want to use the good guns. Oh, I appreciate that, Barry. For this audition, I haven't been auditioning much lately, so for this audition, I'm going into it with the mindset that like it would be great to win the audition and get the spot. It wouldn't change my life all that much, but it would be a nice addition to what I'm currently doing. But for me right now, it's more like I want to make sure that I'm honing the skill that is auditioning, and that I'm staying like keeping my playing as best I can. Staying the best player that I can be.
Do to them?
Working on auditions is always a great way to do that, like just to make sure that your skills are super sharp. Sharp in a good way, not like pitch sharp. Are we good? I think we're good. Is there stuff? If I get it, where does the time come from? Doing lessons, free time, etc. So, if I got this job, it would be like a couple of services a month, if that. And they'd most likely be over a weekend. So it wouldn't impact my current schedule all that much. It means like, if I did happen to get that job, it would mean like missing some Friday streams here or there. Like it's based on what I know of their schedule, which isn't a lot, but based on what I know of their schedule, it wouldn't really impact the week to week all that much. It would be like one thing a month, and probably over the weekend. Most of these like part-time orchestras, like this one, they do like each performance service would be like, not everybody does it this way, but this is just my experience. It's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday type thing. So like you go out of town, you know, rehearse Thursday and Friday, maybe Saturday morning, and then performance Saturday evening. So like this orchestra is a drive where like it'd be a bit long to drive back and forth over the whole weekend, so I'd probably stay. But like if there was like a random rehearsal like in the middle of the week, I could just drive out there and then drive back. So it's only like a couple hours, you know. So like if it was like multiple services in a row, I would just go stay for a bit. Usually these kinds of orchestras, they'll give you like a little bit of a stipend if you need to get like a hotel room or something. But like I said, it wouldn't impact my week to week all that much. It would, and it might mean that I have to like hand a couple students off if I found it to be too much. But like impact would not be that great on my current schedule. Oh, I forgot there's different. It's a different mini game, and I'm gonna be really bad at it. But I'm playing with the controller. I want to do the Xbox version. I did it. I want to do the Xbox version of the mini games.
Humans, thank the maker.
Hurry, close the door before they come back.
I've seen people's PC playthroughs before, so I knew that the mini game was a bit different, but I've never done that before. I've only ever played it on the Xbox.
Don't worry. We'll protect you.
Thank you. I think we'll be okay now. It looks like everyone's gone.
You're Dr. Warren, the one in charge of the excavation. Do you know what happened to the beacon?
It was moved to the spaceport this morning. Manuel and I stayed behind to help pack up the camp. When the attack came, the Marines held them off long enough for us to hide. They gave their lives to save us.
No one is saved. The age of humanity is ended. Soon, only ruin and corpses will remain.
What else can you tell me about the attack?
It all happened so fast. One second we were gathering up our equipment. The next we were hiding in the shed while the Geth swarmed over the camp.
Agents of the destroyers, bringers of darkness, heralds of our extinction.
We could hear the battle outside. Gunfire, screams. I thought it would never end. Then everything went quiet. We just sat there, too afraid to move, until you came along.
Did you notice a Turian in the area?
I saw him, the Prophet, leader of the enemy. He was here before the attack.
That's impossible. Nihilus was with us in the Normandy before the attack. He couldn't have been here.
I'm sorry. Manuel's still a bit unsettled. We haven't seen your Turian. We've been hiding in here since the attack.
Can you tell me anything about the beacon?
It's some type of data module from a galaxy-wide communications network. Remarkably well preserved. It could be the greatest scientific discovery of our lifetime. Miraculous new technologies, groundbreaking medical advances. Who knows what secrets are locked inside?
We have unearthed the heart of evil. Awakened the beast. unleashed the darkness.
Manuel, please. This isn't the time.
Can you tell me anything about the beacon?
It's some type of data module from a galaxy-wide communications network. Remarkably well preserved. It could be the greatest scientific discovery of our lifetime. Miraculous new technologies, groundbreaking medical advances. Who knows what secrets are locked inside?
We have unearthed the heart of evil. Awakened the
Did I hear this
beast.
one already?
Unleashed
Sorry
the
if I clicked on it
darkness.
twice.
Manuel, please. This isn't the time.
What's wrong with your assistant?
Manuel has
Manuel's a bit
brilliant
dramatic.
mind, but he's always been a bit unstable.
Should I go Renegade on
Genius
this
and
one?
madness are two sides of the
Sometimes
same
I do,
coin.
even though it's kind of mean.
Is it madness to see the future? To see the destruction rushing towards us? To understand there is
I'm
no
gonna do it.
escape? No hope? No. I am not mad. I'm the only sane one left.
I gave him an extra dose of his meds after the attack.
Say goodnight, Manuel.
You cannot silence the truth. My voice must be heard.
Oh my god! What did you do?
That might have been a little extreme, Commander.
You
No one
can't
asked
just
you,
go
Kaden.
around whacking people in the head.
It was only a matter of time till he did something crazy and dangerous.
I suppose you're right. By the time he wakes up, the meds will have kicked in.
Williams, take us to the spaceport.
Good luck, Commander.
He's just laying down on the floor. Poor Manuel. I think I have some more stuff. That doesn't matter, I don't really use assault rifle, but Ashley does. Still no mods. What is that? Sniper rifle. Give that to Ashley. The menu is different and it's weirding me out a little bit, but I will adjust. Cool. Let's save. I think 3 save files is enough. If something goes wrong with one of them, I have 2 backups. I like to rotate between the 3 so that I have like a safe place to go back to if I need to.
Saren. Nihilus. This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
The Council thought you could use some help on this one.
I wasn't expecting to find the Geth here. The situation's bad.
Don't worry. I've got it under control.
Why? Why is she holding the sniper rifle?
What is that? Off in the distance.
It's a ship. Look at the size of it.
Just so you all know, I get immense pleasure out of shooting down the shields, even though I don't have to,
Commander,
so I do it anyway.
It's Nihilus.
Oh. I'm playing it on Insanity. That's my preferred difficulty. So yes, it will probably mean I die at some point, if not quite a bit, particularly in the beginning of the second game. I always have a hard time adjusting from the first game to the second game, but I like the challenge.
Something's moving over behind those crates.
Wait! Don't shoot! I'm one of you! I'm human!
Sneaking up on us like that nearly got you killed.
I'm sorry, I was hiding from those creatures. My name's Powell. I saw what happened to that Turian. The other one shot him.
I need to know how Nihilus died.
The other one got here first. He was waiting when your friend showed up. He called him Saren. I think they knew each other. Your friend seemed to relax. He let his guard down. And Saren killed him. Shot him right in the back. I'm just lucky he didn't see me behind the crates.
We were told a Prothean beacon was brought to the spaceport. What happened to it?
It's over on the other platform. Probably where that guy Saren was headed. He hopped on the cargo train right after he killed your friend. I knew that beacon was trouble. Everything's gone to hell since we found it. First that damn mothership showed up, then the attack. They killed everyone. Everyone! If I hadn't been behind the crates, I'd be dead too.
How come you're the only one who survived? Why didn't anyone else try to hide behind the crates?
They never had a chance. I was already behind the crates when the attack started.
Wait a minute. You were hiding behind the crates before the attack?
Sometimes I need a nap to get through my shift. I sneak off behind the crates to grab 40 winks where the supervisor can't find me.
You survived because you're lazy?
Naps are important. Naps do not make you lazy. Some of us just need naps to get through the day.
If you hadn't snuck off for that nap, you'd probably be dead just like all the
Are
others.
there different endings to this game? Not to this one.
Yeah,
Not to
I
the
guess.
first one.
I don't really want to think about it.
Tell me about this mothership you saw.
I've never seen anything like it before. It was huge. Landed over near that platform. The whole place got dark as it came down. And it was making this noise, this sound that bored right into your brain. That's what woke me up. The attack came a few minutes later.
We need to find that beacon before it's too late.
Take the cargo train. That's where the other Turian went. I can't stay here. I need to get away from all this.
Did I get all this stuff already? I think so. I'm stuck. I think that was Caden's fault. More stuff? No. I did not prepare for that appropriately. Maybe not. Maybe I'll be okay. Nope, I saved it. We're good. This one's like, no, I'm not coming out of cover. You killed all my friends. I don't know if I can hit it from there. Is there another one down there? Oh, there is. I forget which key is. I think it's Y? It is. It should be exactly the same as the actual Xbox downstairs, but I'd rather find out now than later. Made it through without dying. I thought the, what was that? Was the Geth Prime? No, Geth Destroyer. I thought it was going to get me because I didn't plan well.
Set the charges.
Yes.
Destroy the entire
The shirt was
colony.
intentional.
Leave no evidence that we were here.
I thought I would just nerd it out for today's stream. I hate this part. I hate like the timed missions. Too much stress. If I get turned around, I did.
Demolition charges. The Geth must have planted them.
Hurry! We need to find them all and shut them down.
I have a bad habit sometimes on this mission of just like missing one at the beginning, like very stupidly. So let's hope I don't do that this time. Hang on. Let me look at the map. Why does it show them? I feel like I maybe missed one at the start, and if I did, I'm gonna feel so stupid, but it's fine. Come on, Geth, I got stuff to do. Well, that was rude. no, 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 no. No, 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 no squat, no squat. That was a little too close for comfort. Sometimes I actually bear down on the joystick too hard and I squat when I don't mean to. Should have just done that first. I didn't miss one. For some reason, I thought I missed one. I always think there's an extra one, but there's not. Teammates are just watching me do all the work. Yeah, that is pretty much the vibe for this first game. They are not super helpful. See, been playing 3 too much. I keep thinking I need to reload. I don't need to reload. Just wasting my grenades. Oops. I don't like this minigame. I like the Xbox one better. There we go. They're stressful. I don't like these, I don't know. I guess they're kind of like Frogger, mini games. I like the ones on the Xbox better. But it's okay. They're easier, for sure. I will get to you in a minute. I am going to go get all this stuff first. What I get? Oh, is that better than what Ash has? It is. Oh, I don't need that anyway. I love how it gives me a bunch of guns in the beginning that I'm not even going to use. And a bunch of armors that I'm also not going to be able to use. That's not super helpful.
Normandy, the beacon is secure.
This is amazing. Actual working Prothean technology. Unbelievable.
It wasn't doing anything like that when they dug it up.
Something must have activated it.
Roger, Normandy. Standing by.
Shepard!
No, don't touch it. It's too...
We identified the ship that touched down on Eden Prime. The Normandy, a human alliance vessel. It was under the command of Captain Anderson. They managed to save the colony.
And the beacon.
One of the humans may have used it.
This human must be eliminated.
Doctor? Dr. Chakwas. I think she's waking up.
You had us worried there, Shepard. How are you feeling?
Minor throbbing. Nothing serious. How long was I out?
About 15 hours. Something happened down there with the beacon, I think.
It's my fault. I must have triggered some kind of security field when I approached it. You had to push me out of the way.
I mean, it was kind of stupid just to go up and, like, touch it. Do I want to be mean? No, I won't be mean, but I'm not
Where's
going
the beacon
to
now?
let him off
What
easy.
happened to it?
The beacon exploded. A system overload, maybe. And the blast knocked you cold. Williams and I had to carry you back here to the ship.
I appreciate it.
Physically, you're fine. But I detected some unusual brain activity. Abnormal beta waves. I also noticed an increase in your rapid eye movement. Signs typically associated with intense dreaming.
I saw... I'm not sure what I saw. Death, destruction... Nothing's really clear.
I better add this to my report. It may... Oh, Captain Anderson.
How's our XO holding up, Doctor?
Well, all the readings look normal. I'd say the commander's going to be fine.
Glad to hear it. Shepard, I need to speak with you. In private.
Aye, aye, Captain. I'll be in the mess if you need me.
Sounds like that beacon hit you pretty hard, Commander. Are you sure you're okay?
I guess I do feel bad about Jenkins.
I don't like soldiers dying under my command.
Jenkins wasn't your fault. You did a good job, Shepard.
Did we leave Gunnery Chief Williams back on Eden Prime?
I figured we could use a soldier like her. She's been reassigned to the Normandy.
Williams is a good soldier. She deserves it.
Lieutenant Alenko agrees with you. That's why I added her to our crew.
Intel dropped the ball, sir. We had no idea what we were walking into down there. That's why things went to hell.
The Geth haven't been outside the Veil in 2 centuries, Commander. Nobody could have predicted this.
You said you needed to see me in private, Captain?
I won't lie to you, Shepard. Things look bad. Nihilus is dead. The beacon was destroyed and Geth are invading. The Council's going to want answers.
I didn't do anything wrong, Captain. Hopefully the Council can see that.
I'll stand behind you and your report, Shepard. You're a damned hero in my books. That's not why I'm here. It's Saren, that other Turian. Saren's a Spectre, one of the best. A living legend. But if he's working with the Geth, it means he's gone rogue. A rogue Spectre's trouble. Saren's dangerous, and he hates humans.
Why?
He thinks we're growing too fast, taking over the galaxy. A lot of aliens think that way. Most of them don't do anything about it. But Saren has allied himself with the Geth. I don't know how, I don't know why. I only know it had something to do with that beacon. You were there just before that beacon self-destructed. Did you see anything? Any clue that might tell us what Saren was after?
Just before I lost consciousness, I had some kind of vision.
A vision? A vision of what?
I saw synthetics. Geth, maybe. Slaughtering people. Butchering them.
We need to report this to the Council, Shepard.
What are we gonna tell them? I had a bad dream?
We don't know what information was stored in that beacon. Lost Prothean technology? Blueprints for some ancient weapon of mass destruction? Whatever it was. Saren took it. But I know Saren. I know his reputation is politics. He believes humans are a blight on the galaxy. This attack was an act of war. He has the secrets from the beacon. He has an army of Geth at his command, and he won't stop until he's wiped humanity from the face of the galaxy.
I'll find some way to take him down.
It's not that easy. He's a Spectre. He can go anywhere, do almost anything. That's why we need the Council on our side.
We prove Saren's gone rogue and the Council will revoke his Spectre status.
I'll contact the Ambassador and see if he can get us an audience with the Council. He'll want to see us as soon as we reach the Citadel. We should be getting close. Head up to the bridge and tell Joker to bring us into dock.
Cool. So we made it through the whole first, like, chunk without dying. Almost did, but didn't. Can I refill?
Glad to see you're okay, Commander.
Can I talk to them yet?
Commander, I'm glad to
Little
see
bit.
you're okay. Losing Jenkins was hard on the crew, and I'm glad we didn't lose you too.
Things were pretty rough down there.
Yeah, you never get used to seeing dead civilians. It doesn't seem right somehow. But at least you stopped Saren from wiping out the whole colony.
Dead Marines, dead colonists, and in the end, we still didn't get that beacon.
Maybe you're right. Things went bad. Real bad. I still can't believe we lost Jenkins.
Yeah, I wish I could have done something to save him.
I was there. You did everything right. It was just bad luck.
It's been a hell of a shakedown, Cruz. Our first mission ends with one Spectre killing another. The Citadel Council's not going to be happy about that. Probably use it to lever more concessions out of the Alliance.
You've got a good grasp of the situation. You a career man?
Yeah, a lot of biotics are. We're not restricted, but we sure don't go undocumented. May as well get a paycheck for it. Besides, my father served. I made him proud when I enlisted. Eventually. But is that why you're here? Because of your family?
I never met my parents. If they wanted to see me, they'd have contacted me after that mess a few years back.
Oh, that's right, the Blitz. I imagine that bought you any post in the fleet. Word is we're heading for the Citadel, ma'am. Can you, tell me why?
The captain's briefing was confidential.
Understood, ma'am. Whatever happens, we'll be ready, Commander.
So, I didn't say this yet, but I already decided for this playthrough, I'm just going to opt out of romancing anyone in the first game. I'm going to hold off for the second game for reasons. And one of the issues I have with the first game and a couple of characters in the second game is that the romance dialogue is not like super nuanced. And this one in particular, you have to like friend zone Caden hard, or because if you're nice to him, he just like assumes that you like him, and we don't this time. So I might have to be a little harsh with him. But yeah, I've decided for this playthrough, I'm not going to romance anyone in the first game. I do enjoy every now and then romancing Caden in the first game and then dumping him in the second game for somebody else. But this time I'm just gonna not. I'm just going to friend zone him, and that'll be that.
Commander. The crew could use some good news after what happened to Jenkins.
Jenkins was a valuable part of this crew.
Part of me feels guilty over what happened. If Jenkins was still alive, I might not be here.
You're a good soldier, Williams. You belong on the Normandy.
Thanks, Commander. That means a lot from you. I've never met anyone who was awarded the Star of Terra.
Things were pretty rough down there. Are you okay?
I've seen friends die before. Comes with being a Marine. But to see my whole unit wiped out, and you never get used to seeing dead civilians. But things would have been a lot worse if you hadn't shown up.
We couldn't have done it without you, Williams.
Thanks, Commander. I have to admit, I was a little worried about being assigned to the Normandy. It's nice when someone makes you feel welcome.
I think you're gonna fit in here just fine, Williams.
Thanks, Commander.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse, and the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about opening a private practice back on Earth. Or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
Have I ever romanced Liara? I did. I did do my second playthrough of the Legendary Edition. I romanced Liara from the beginning of the first game all the way through. And it was fine. It just wasn't my preferred story. So, like, some games, like Dragon Age, I've played Dragon Age like every combination of things. Like, I like to play it all the different ways and unlock all the different things, like all the different cutscenes. Like, I'm not like super partial to like one character type in like one romance option. But in this game series, I have a preference, and that's the one I stick to. And I've played that time when I romanced Liara all the way through. I did it just because, like, for continuity, I wanted to see what it was like to do this, to have that like kind of overarching story, and it was fine. I understand why some people like that story. It's just not my favorite, so that's not what I'm doing this time.
What do you know about Captain Anderson?
I've served with him for a few tours now. He knows when to let things slide and when to crack the whip. The crew knows he's seen pretty much anything they'll ever run into. And he cares about the people under his command.
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
What kind of complications?
Severe mental disabilities, insanity, crippling physical pain. There's a long list of horrific side effects. Caden's lucky. He just gets migraines.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
I'll go down there later.
I'm glad you're okay, Commander. Losing Jenkins was hard enough on the crew.
Can I talk to Joker yet? I can never remember when the chat with him opens up. For like a while, you can't really talk to him, and then you can.
Good timing, Commander. I was just about to bring us into the Citadel. See that taxpayer money at work.
Oh, that's right. There's this little cutscene, and then later we can actually talk to him.
Flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Well, size isn't everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower, too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side, then.
Citadel Control, this is SSV Normandy, requesting permission to land.
Stand by for clearance, Normandy. Clearance granted. You may begin your approach. Transferring you to an Alliance operator.
Roger, Alliance Tower. Normandy out.
Normandy, this is Alliance Tower. Please proceed to Dock 422.
This is an outrage! The Council would step in if the Geth attacked a Turian colony?
The Turians don't found colonies on the borders of the Terminus systems, Ambassador.
Humanity was well aware of the risks when you went into the Traverse.
What about Saren? You can't just ignore a rogue Spectre. I demand action!
You don't get to make demands of the Council, Ambassador.
Citadel Security is investigating your charges against Saren. We will discuss the CSEC findings at the hearing, not before.
Captain Anderson, I see you brought half your crew with you.
Just the ground team from Eden Prime, in case you had any questions.
I have the mission reports. I assume they're accurate?
They are. Sounds like you convinced the Council to give us an audience.
They were not happy about it. Saren's their top agent. They don't like him being accused of treason.
Saren's a threat to every human colony out there. He needs to be stopped. The Council has to listen to us.
Settle down, Commander. You've already done more than enough to jeopardize your candidacy for the Spectres. The mission on Eden Prime was a chance to prove you could get the job done. Instead, Nihilus ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
That's Saren's fault, not hers.
Then we better hope the CSEC investigation turns up evidence to support our accusations. Otherwise, the Council might use this as an excuse to keep you out of the Spectres. Come with me, Captain. I want to go over a few things before the hearing. Shepard, you and the others can meet us at the Citadel Tower, top level. I'll make sure you have clearance to get in.
And that's why I hate politicians.
I was just thinking, I've never played this game before with headphones on, because I've always played it on our Xbox, like, you know, in our living room, like just with the TV speakers. And I can hear the music so much better, but I can also hear a lot more like detail with like the sound effects and stuff. I recently listened to the whole soundtrack, like the entire thing for all three games. It was it was a couple months ago when I had to drive to Georgia. I had 4 hours to kill, so I decided just to listen to the whole thing. And I'd always just thought, you know, that like the third game soundtrack is just superior. And I love it. I love the third game soundtrack so much. But I had never appreciated like how many little themes and motives there are that just like come back over and over throughout the series. And I'll probably talk about it more like as we get into the other two games, because like some of the little motives and themes I can't really talk about without talking about the context, which could spoil for people who are watching a playthrough of this for the first time, or are in the process of playing through it themselves for the first time. But I would just like to say, if you're listening with headphones especially, we can hear a bit more detail, but if you're listening to this and you have the headspace to be aware of the soundtrack and that kind of stuff, just like take note of all the little themes and little all the little motives, and like listen for them later, especially in the later games. And I think it adds like an extra layer to the experience. And explaining like I'm a musician, haha, you're a musician, like you already knew that, or am I being too technical? I didn't think I was being too technical. I think I was being pretty like generic. I don't want to get like, I always try really hard not to get too like jargony with like the music stuff, because I don't want to gatekeep musical discussion, you know, like, just because like I've got a classical background and classical training doesn't mean I can't talk about music with somebody who's just like a music lover, you know, who just listens to music and has like a working understanding, you know? Just joshing. Okay, cool. I'm glad you like my perspective, but I never want to be one of those like classical musicians that like shuts people out of the conversations because of the lingo or anything like that. But like I have so much appreciation for this soundtrack in general, and like I listening to like, as I have had the like the soundtrack for the third one for a while, but I hadn't listened to like the entire thing. Like I know the soundtrack for the third game so well, but to go back and listen to games 1 and 2 and like hear how and listen to all 3 like in succession, like it just was really interesting. So like I will, as we get further into the series, I might point some things out that I find fun, but like I hope you all are here for the nerdy music talk that will just be present, but I'm going to try not to like tangent too much. Also, I am thinking, I said this earlier in stream, I am thinking about uploading these to YouTube to a separate channel from my main music channel, which is at Emily Tyndall, just like my main music channel here on Twitch is at Emily Tyndall. But I'm going to do like a Clarinet Cheat Codes YouTube channel. It's not set up yet. And I'm thinking about like not editing these or just minimal editing so that one, I can post them without adding a whole bunch of extra work for myself, and 2, they can stay candid and just kind of chill. But I'm going to, but I'm not sure yet. I might like edit out like the ending / like the beginning, like transitioning into and out of stream. I really don't know. Oh, hello, Metal Monster. Welcome. And I'm glad you sorted it out. Yeah, I'm on a brand new setup. I primarily do music streams on my main channel on a separate setup, and I'm working on building a new setup. And so this second channel, game stream channel, and this is my opportunity to kind of learn how to use this new computer and this new microphone and audio face before I like full on migrate the music streams over here. But I'm welcoming any feedback to help me like fine tune things and get it as nice sounding as I possibly can. But I don't know if you just accidentally had it muted. I totally do that all the time, where I like accidentally like have myself muted and think the other person isn't like listening properly or whatever, you know, or it doesn't have their mic on and it's just me being dumb for a minute. Also, I thought I wasn't recording before, and I am. I forgot I went into the settings and told Streamlabs to record every stream, so I didn't royally screw up. So that's good. And thank you so much for the raid. This is my first stream on this channel, and I'm getting raided. It is so awesome. And thank you so much, Metal Monster, for the raid and for the follow. I really appreciate it. For those of you, oh, and I have another follow too from Lene. I think I'm saying that correctly. Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, for those of you who were here at the start of stream or haven't heard me say it already, this is my second channel. I have a primary Twitch streaming channel. It's at Emily Tyndall. I don't have my commands or anything set up for this channel yet, so Andrew, if you could, since you're modding, if you're still there, if you could shout out my main channel, I'd really appreciate it. My main channel is my music streaming platform. Oh, it's late. Yes, please do go to bed. Thank you so much. I hope you had an awesome stream as well. Everybody else who wants to, please go follow Metal Monster to thank them for the raid. But Andrew, if you could shout out my main channel, I'd appreciate it. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to mess up the window situation. Again, still learning this new setup and still learning Streamlabs. But I do Clarinet mostly over there on the other channel, and I wanted to bring in some game content, but I didn't want to clog up the music channel with game stuff. I just, for my own sanity, felt like I wanted to partition them off. Games on one channel, music on the main channel. So this is my first stream on the second/games channel, and I am starting off with my favorite game series of all time, Mass Effect, and I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you for the raid, Metal Monster. Thank you for everybody who's following and watching. Got a little bit more time to stream before I need to end it for today, so let's do some Citadel stuff. Oh, I gotta do another mini game. I did it. Almost didn't do it. Thank you, Andrew. So yes, that's the link for my main channel. If you are interested in my Clarinet/music content, I'd love to have you over there as well. I'm currently on break for that channel, but streams over there will start back on Monday the 9th. I think that's correct. Yes, Monday is the 9th. I'm still like trying to make sure I write 2023 instead of 2022, but we're only 2 days, or how many meetings? 4 days into the year. It feels like only 2 because of like the holiday. It's almost like the first and the second weren't really part of the new year. They're more like part of the last year's holiday. excuse me.
Hello there, human. Sincere apology, but I am here on business and cannot be distracted right now.
You seem distressed. Is there something I can do to help?
Alarmed response. You overheard that, did you? This is all going so wrong, and it is the Asari consort's fault. She's the one who started all this.
What did this Asari do to get you so upset?
I cannot speak more about this problem. It is too sensitive. Suffice it to say, she has compromised my authority.
How can Shepard tell that the Elcor seems distressed? Because he said he was distressed, didn't he? Or she heard him talking to the other people in the room.
Where can I find this Asari consort?
She is across the bridge from here. Her offices are easy enough to spot. Good day, human.
Pleased greeting. Human, it is always good to see your kind. I am Ambassador Kalen. Genuine query. Is there something I can do for you this day?
Why do you explain what you're about to say?
Our people communicate less through words and more through scent and slight movements. Plainly, we discovered our vocal expression was not enough to convey the feelings of our conversations to other species.
Why do you bother, Kalen? These Earth Clan don't really care about our ways.
Remorseful response, Din. You don't truly believe that, and if you do, I am very sorry for you.
Tell me more about your species.
Genuine enthusiasm. I delight in telling the history of my people. It is agreeable to share our culture with others.
Tell me about the history and origins of the Elcor.
The Elcor were just beginning to explore Council space when the Asari first made contact with us. With their help, we discovered the relay closest to our system, and from there the Citadel. Proudly, within one lifetime we established a regular route to the Citadel, and quickly became one of the more active species living on this great station.
I'd like to know more about the culture of the Elcor.
Frankly, we Elcor prefer the safety and familiarity of our own colonies to the confines of space travel. Our society is built on small, tight-knit groups, though we are always welcoming to outsiders. Our government tends to be very stable. Our people are not very comfortable with sudden changes.
Me either. Maybe I'm part Elcor. I don't like sudden changes. Or any changes.
What do you do here?
Modestly, I work to bring the problems and the requests of the Elcor groups to the attention of the Council.
Ha! They only give us these positions to keep us quiet. The Council doesn't care about our races.
Chastising rebuke. Your tone is inappropriate, Din. This human is not to blame for your malcontent or your misconceived suspicions.
What
do you do here?
Maybe.
Modestly.
Sorry if it's a repeat.
I work to bring the problems and the requests of the Elcor groups to the attention of the Council.
Ha! They only give us these positions to keep us quiet. The Council doesn't care about our races.
Chastising rebuke. Your tone is inappropriate, Din. This human is not to blame for your malcontent or your misconceived suspicions.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
Sincere farewell. Good day to you, human. Enjoy your time on the Citadel.
Earth Clan, you are in the wrong place, I think. Your ambassador is next door in the large office.
Chastising remark. Don't be so rude, Din. At least introduce yourself.
I am Din Korlak, Volus ambassador. Is there something I can do for you, Earth Clan?
What is this place?
You are in the embassy for the Volus and the Elcor.
Your ambassador is next door, in his own office.
In this shared space, I aid my fellow Volus when I'm not being interrupted.
I'd like to know more about the Volus.
I love how the Elcor talks
I'm
too,
sure our
very.
history and culture would bore you, EarthClan.
I like how they say what their emotions before they say the words. But it's interesting though, because you'll hear little tidbits about like, at one point, like there's like a passing remark about like an Elcor serial killer, which I find like really jarring, you know, because they seem just so chill and calm. But that's just their speech, right? But then you also hear about like an Elcor sculptor, you know. So like I think it's really cool that they have this very like they're just a people, like they're just like a sentient people, but like they communicate so different from everybody else. But I love the way they talk. It's very chill and relaxed. There's a company that makes like video game themed merch, and they make it's licensed stuff. And they make it's the company makes the Garrus plushie I have, who was set up to be in my background, but then I moved and he's not there anymore. There he is. You see him. But like it's like a little plushie Elcor, but like when you press it, it talks and it says like it does the same thing. It'll say like it's in motion before it says what it's going to say. Yeah, you should talk like that to prevent misunderstanding in chat about the soundtrack. No, it wasn't. I just wanted to clarify your meaning. You hadn't yet been misunderstood. I want to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding you. But yes, like it is like the way. Stop it, Andrew. We do not call Garrus a space chicken. It's so rude. That's not allowed. If you weren't the only person modding for me, I'd have you banned. But we respect Garrus in this house. That's what happens. But yeah, it's kind of like the way Elcor talk is like humans writing, like, you know, writing messages. I think it's really easy sometimes for myself too to forget like that meaning doesn't convey the same way in writing as it does like when you're speaking. And sometimes like in text I will feel like I need to do that, like when I'm texting somebody and I want them to know like I'm not mad but I'm serious or something like that, you know. I think that's what we do with like emojis, right? Emojis kind of like help convey meaning when the words are kind of like not quite enough.
Tell me about Volus culture.
We are tribal by nature, but our ways are not violent. We barter and trade our lands and tribe members in order to increase status. Larger tribes often engulf smaller ones and eventually split again. Our society is very malleable, and our government is always shifting and changing. Since we're not physically adept, we trade our services for protection.
What is it you do here?
I look out for the best interests of the Volus people. No easy task considering how often we are overlooked by the Council.
Chastising rebuke, Dan. The Council favors your species greatly.
You are naive. The EarthClan will be invited to the Council long before our species will.
Why aren't the Elcor or Volus part of the
wrong.
Council?
All species must prove themselves before they join the Council. All but the EarthClans, it would seem.
Dismissive. Ignore the Volus ambassador, human. He is incorrect in his assessment.
Really? How long have we been waiting? How long do you think we'll continue to wait? Bah, this talk is wasted on the humans.
That's true, Corsair. The Elcor, like, they don't like a lot of abrupt change or any change. And the Volus, their society, their culture is a little more, like, malleable and changes a lot. So that is really interesting that they're, like, roommates in the embassy. Maybe somebody really insightful was hoping that, like, they would be able to learn from each other by being opposites. And that's why they're office mates in the embassies.
You seem to have a bit of a chip on your shoulder, Din.
You humans are new to the Citadel, and yet the Council has granted you great favor.
Chastising rebuke, Din. Your species has always been granted many concessions. Volus territory has expanded tenfold since coming to the Citadel.
Details. We still have no real say in the decisions that affect Citadel space.
Everything.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
Yes, yes. Good day, EarthClan.
Keeper. is the office we just left. Yes. The first time I played this game, I actually didn't even finish it. I gave up. I couldn't figure out the combat. I got lost in the Citadel, and I quit thinking I would never play this series again. Boy, was I wrong. It does take some time to get used to. Actually, like, interesting fact, or not interesting at all, depending on your perspective, but I guess fact about me is, like, I always kind of stayed away from, like, science fiction, like, space stuff, even though I find space, like, super interesting. Like, as a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut for a big chunk of time, but I realized that, like, watching a lot of, like, sci-fi, like, space films, and even playing, like sci-fi, like, space movies, or video games, rather, I had one, like, I had a Star Wars game on the Super Nintendo and a Star Wars game on the Nintendo 64 as a kid. It, like, made me feel very claustrophobic, like, being on the ships and then being, like, on the space stations and all. There's something about it I didn't like. For the longest time, I just preferred, like, Dragon Age or, like, Skyrim, just being, like, an elf person out in the open air, you know? Like, I just found that better, and I kind of stayed away from these kinds of games, but I've kind of, my perspective has changed a little bit. Still sometimes, like, trigger a little bit of, like, claustrophobia for me, but, like, not the same way. I've adapted. I forget what I'm supposed to be doing. I think I'm supposed to go to the council next. Yeah, to the tower.
Welcome
So I'll just do that.
Allow me to be your guide.
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicarian. I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
Who were you just talking to?
That was Executor Palin, head of Citadel Security, my boss. He'll be presenting my findings on Saren to the Council.
Sounds like you really want to bring him down.
I don't trust him. Something about him rubs me the wrong way.
Yes, Garrus, I know.
Everything he touches is classified.
He's my favorite.
Can't find any hard evidence.
I think the council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you.
You know how, like, in life there are, like, stories, movies, books, games, characters, and it's like, if people like them, then there's a good chance, like, if they like the same that you do, there's a good chance that you will get along. I feel, or, like, I guess you could even take it a step further. You could say, like, certain stories, characters, like movies, books, whatever. It's like if someone else likes them or understands, like, why you think it's good or why it's objectively good, but I feel like it's more subjective than that. It's like they kind of get you, or there's a good chance they'll get you. Like, I feel like this game series, like, if somebody likes it for the same reasons I do, I feel like they would have a good chance at getting me, like, as a person. But, like, Garrus is, like, one of those characters. Like, if I love Garrus to pieces, and, like, he's a flawed character, which is awesome. Like, I love a well-written, endearing, like, flawed character. But, like, when someone's like, I don't get Garrus, or he's a stupid character, or I don't like playing with him in my party, I'm like, I don't think we can be friends. I don't think we will get each other. I don't think we will understand each other. We can have mutual respect, you know, we can, like, agree to disagree, but I don't think we will ever really be friends if you don't understand why Garrus is awesome. Everyone is 100% entitled to their own opinion and their own preferences, but, like, you know, I will be nice to you 100% if you don't like Garrus, but we'll never be close friends. We'll never quite see eye to eye.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
The Geth attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
I resent these accusations. Nihilus was a fellow Spectre, and a friend.
That just let you catch him off guard.
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your protege, Commander Shepard. The one who let the beacon get destroyed.
Yes, Garrus is for sure ride or die. That's why I like playing Vanguard or Adept so much, is because of both those classes balance well against Garrus. And I like to have him in my party as much as possible. I do mix it up. I do like to mix it up for different experience, different dialogue, and that kind of thing. But I love having Garrus around. But yeah, Garrus is just awesome. I think, like, so the first time I played this game, like, I kind of quit, thought I'd never come back. And then, like a year later, I was like, you know, I'm going to play through it. I'm going to at least complete it. Because I'm one of those people, like, if I start something, I like to finish it. If I'm going to critique it or decide I don't like it, I like to have completed the whole thing. Nothing bugs me more in life than when someone's like, oh, I didn't like that, or it's not good. And then I'm like, okay, well, did you finish it? And they're like, no. And I go, well, so how do you know? You only got like half the story. It's fine to be like, I don't like this. I don't enjoy watching it, playing it, reading it, whatever. And then for your own reasons decided that you didn't need that in your life. That's fine. But then to say it's also objectively not good when you didn't even finish it, like, I have a problem with that. I think you have like a skewed sample if you didn't finish the whole thing. So I went back and I played the whole thing. And the whole time I was playing it, like, all through the first game, I kind of felt like I was just getting through it. I was just going to finish it, you know, I was going to make myself finish it. And I played the second game and I really enjoyed it. I played by the time I got to the end of the third game, I was like, I actually really care about these characters. Like, and I finished it kind of thinking like, okay, I guess I'm done, you know? And then, like, I didn't play it for a couple years and I felt compelled to come back and play it again. But, like, the character that I, like, most wanted to come back and play it for was Garrus. Also Tali. Tali is probably my second favorite character in the game. But, like, I just like him so much.
The mission to Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his files passed on to me. I read the Eden Prime report. I was unimpressed. But what can you expect from a human?
Saren despises humanity. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the Council. You're not even ready to join the Spectres.
He has no right to say that. That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Spectres is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting your time, Counselor, and mine.
Saren's hiding behind his position as a Spectre. You need to open your eyes.
What we need is evidence. So far, we've seen nothing.
There is still one outstanding issue. Commander Shepard's vision. It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Are we allowing dreams into evidence now? How can I defend my innocence against this kind of testimony?
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild imaginings and reckless speculation.
Do you have anything else to add, Commander Shepard?
You've made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Spectres is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
This meeting is adjourned.
It was a mistake bringing you into that hearing, Captain. You and Saren have too much history. It made the Council question our motives.
I know Saren. He's working with the Geth for one reason. To exterminate the entire human race. Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
Tell me about this history between you and Saren.
I worked with him on a mission a long time ago. Things went bad. Real bad. We shouldn't talk about this here. But I know what he's like. And he has to be stopped.
What's our next step?
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
What about Garrus, that CSEC investigator? We saw him arguing with the executor.
That's right. He was asking for more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding something on Saren.
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
You can't just cut Captain Anderson out of this investigation.
The ambassador's right. I need to step aside.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the wards.
Maybe there's another way to find evidence against Saren.
You should talk to Barla Vaughn over in the financial district. Rumor has it he's an agent for the Shadow Broker.
The Shadow Broker?
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Barla Vaughn's one of the top representatives. He might know something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
You and Saren have a history. What happened?
About 20 years ago, I was part of a mission in the Skillian Verge. I was working with Saren to find and remove a known terrorist threat. Saren eliminated his target, but a lot of people died along the way, innocent people. And the official records just covered it all up. But I saw how he operates. No conscience, no hesitation. He'd kill 1,000 innocent civilians to end a war without a second thought.
Killing innocents doesn't end wars. It causes them.
I know how the world works, Commander. Sometimes you're forced to make unpleasant decisions, but only if there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another option. He's twisted, broken. He likes the violence, the killing. And he knows how to cover his tracks.
Killing innocents doesn't end wars.
I didn't mean to do that.
It causes them.
I know how, but only if there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another option. He's twisted, broken. He likes the violence, the killing.
Our ambassador doesn't seem to get along with the Council.
He's just frustrated. The Council's always preaching that we need to be part of the galactic community. But for them, it's a one-way street. They want us to expand and settle unstable regions like the Skillian Verge and the Attican Traverse. But when we run into trouble, they don't want to help us out. Everyone knows it's only a matter of time until we get a seat on the Council. The ambassador just thinks it should happen sooner rather than later. And I agree.
You don't think much of Harkin.
The guy joined CSEC about 20 years ago. He's been an embarrassment to our species ever since. Roughing up suspects in custody, bribery accusations, alcohol and drug use. The embassy used to step in when he got in trouble. But I guess enough was enough.
Guy's a scumbag. He should have been cut loose a long time ago.
He was one of the first human CSEC officers. Guess it would have looked bad if he got fired. A lot of backroom deals were worked out over the years to keep him on the force. Politics is a dirty business sometimes, but it looks like his time's run out. We've got enough humans in CSEC now to stop protecting him.
I thought this embassy was supposed to help humans.
Harkin may be human, but he's also an ass. He's had more than his share of chances. If the embassy wasn't protecting him, he would have been fired 15 years ago. CSEC is better off without him.
I want to know more about the Spectres.
They're not your typical government agency. They tend to work alone, behind the scenes. They take care of problems the Council can't. It's not easy preserving peace across an entire galaxy. The Council prefers to use diplomacy and negotiation. But sometimes more extreme measures are needed.
How do they decide who becomes a Spectre?
You can't just apply to join. There's no training program. Spectres aren't made. They're born. The Council's always looking for exceptional individuals. People who can get the job done, like you. They've been watching you for years. They see something in you. They want you on their side. Nihilus was supposed to give them a final recommendation, but with him gone, things are still up in the air.
What's their command structure like?
There is no command structure. Each Spectre answers directly to the Council. Sometimes they're sent on specific missions. Other times, they act on their own. They tend to operate outside the law, do whatever it takes to accomplish their goals. The Council just turns a blind eye. Spectres have a lot of power, Shepard.
They sound like shadow operatives.
Everything about them is classified. We don't even know how many there are. The latest Alliance estimate puts their numbers under 100. But the Council couldn't do its job without them. They're the Citadel's top agents, the last line of defense, the final option before open war. The entire galaxy respects and fears them. If a Spectre shows up, you know something big is about to happen.
What happens when a Spectre goes rogue, like Saren?
It doesn't happen often. The Council is careful when they select their candidates. But when something does go wrong, there's usually only one solution. Send another Spectre to bring the rogue agent down.
Tell me more about the Shadow Broker.
He's a necessary evil of galactic politics. Buying and selling information is a part of the game. And the Shadow Broker just happens to be the best player on the field. Always sells to the highest bidder. Doesn't get involved in politics, doesn't pick sides. A simple system, but it works. He's not a threat to anyone, not directly. He's just a resource we can use, or she is. Or maybe they are. Nobody really knows.
Tell me about Barla Vaughn.
He specializes in moving large sums of money without leaving a paper trail. A financial genius, doesn't do anything illegal, but he knows all the loopholes. He's got an impressive client list. Ambassadors, diplomats, Spectres. That's probably why the Shadow Broker uses him.
I think that's everything.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
I got a few minutes left before I need to wrap up, so we'll start a few other things.
That guy's up.
What? Oh, no, I wasn't. Never mind. Yes, is there something you want?
Why are you so interested in the Keepers?
Keepers? I've got no interest in the
Don't get coy. I know what I saw.
I'm not so sure I should be talking to you about this.
We're just talking. Is there something wrong with that?
No. I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I'm using a small scanner to gather readings on the Keepers. So far I've had mixed results. I find it difficult to get near the creatures.
Why were you being so secretive about it, though?
Well, technically we're not supposed to disturb the Keepers. I don't really think my scanning disturbs them, but the authorities might disagree. I'd like to do it more openly, but it's not really worth getting arrested over.
I could help you out. I'm not worried about the authorities.
I don't even know who you are.
I'm Commander Shepard with the Alliance military.
Well, I suppose I could use the help. You'll need this. It's the scanning device I developed. Activate it each time you see a Keeper. All collected data will automatically upload to my database. I'll even send a few credits your way for each unique scan.
What are you doing with the data once you've scanned it?
Trying to learn whatever I can about the Keepers. We see them working everywhere, yet we know so little about them. I'm a scientist. I want to know what makes them tick.
I should get going then.
Yes, I have much work myself. So long, and good luck with the scanning.
Make sure I grab the ones in here while we're here.
No, I'm waiting to...
I don't think I can talk to him yet. I always mess up his little quest line. I've never once done it correctly. Hopefully, like I always do it in things in the incorrect order and then end up locked out of part of it. So I'm going to try to make this the first playthrough where I actually get it right. I'm going to do my absolute best. And you would think the number of times I've played this game that I would just have memorized where all the Keepers are. I don't. I usually miss one. Except for my most recent playthrough. I think I managed to get every single one just by checking places in order. But usually there's like one I have to double back that I missed. You know, one that I have to double back for because I missed it when I was in that area the first time.
Don't be ridiculous. The Volus won't be joining the Council for years.
I'm not so sure. The humans are making a strong push.
I know lots of people just skip the keeper scanning. The first time like I made sure I did it, it was because I was trying to like unlock the achievement where you get to like a certain level. How long does each playthrough take? It depends. Like, one of the good things about playing this game series over and over is because like one of the reasons I like to replay series is because like I don't always have a lot of time to play games. I never start new games until I know I have enough time to devote to it. With games that I'm more familiar with, like I could dip in and out. You know, I could not play for a week or two, and once I started up, I kind of remember exactly what was going on, exactly where I left off. You know, with a brand new game, that gets quite difficult. But like, usually I can do, I mean, it's going to be longer on stream because of like talking and all that kind of stuff. But I can usually do, I've done game 1 in under 30 hours before. I would say it's probably normally like 35, typically less than 40. Second game is much longer. I want to say it's something like 60 hours. But that would be before, when I had it before Legendary Edition, I didn't have all of the DLC, so that makes a big difference. So call it like between 60 and 75, and the third game goes a bit faster. But again, like I didn't have the DLC prior to the Legendary Edition, so
look at that bug thing over there. What's it doing?
Yeah, so that should give you like in real life time. I really don't know. I'm not going to be able to stream this as much as like I would play it on my own, so it's going to take longer. So I mean, let's call it a month. Let's say when I replay it, it typically it typically takes me about a month to do everything. But like that would probably be on the faster end. This current playthrough I've been working on for a couple of months. I started it on November 7th, because it's in 7 Day. That's kind of like a yearly tradition I have. And I am about halfway through the third game, but I've been quite busy, so I've been playing in like 1 hour or less chunks most of the time. Like I just pick it up here and there when I have time. So it really also depends. Like, do I feel like powering through it, or do I feel like kind of taking my time and doing
What's this?
like everything there is
One
to
of
do?
the Earth Clan. Ah, a very famous one, yes? You are the one called Shepard. It is a great honor to welcome the heroes of the Blitz.
You've got me at a disadvantage here.
Forgive me, Earth Clan. My name is Barla Vaughn. My job makes it necessary for me to keep informed. I am a financial advisor to many important clients here on the Citadel. When someone as important as yourself arrives on the station, I take notice.
I heard you work for the Shadow Broker. Do you have any information about Saren?
You're very blunt, Shepard. But you're right.
True.
I am an agent for the Shadow Broker. And I do know something about Saren.
I hear your information can be expensive.
Normally, this information would cost a small fortune. But these are exceptional circumstances. So I am going to give it to you for free.
What's the catch?
There is no catch. The Shadow Broker is quite upset with Saren right now. They used to do a lot of business until Saren turned on him.
That's what happens when you deal with a traitor like Saren.
No matter what you think of Saren, he's not stupid. He knows the Shadow Broker is a valuable ally. Turning on him doesn't make sense. Not unless something huge was at stake. I don't know the details, but the Shadow Broker hired a freelancer to deal with it. A Krogan mercenary.
That's not much to go on.
I just told you that the most famous Spectre in the galaxy betrayed the Shadow Broker. Quite a bargain, considering the price. Speak with the Krogan if you want to learn more. I heard he was paying a visit to Citadel security. If you hurry, you might catch him before he leaves the Academy.
Isn't it strange that a Krogan would want to speak with C-Sec?
Very. However, I doubt the visit was entirely his choice. You'll need to speak with him if you want to know more.
Tell me more about your job.
Galactic finance is incredibly complex. A mix of laws and regulations from dozens of interstellar economies. I'm an expert in how all these economies interact. For a fee, I share my expertise. I also offer premium services for those clients who need someone to conduct business without drawing unwanted attention. Discreet and efficient. That's my motto.
Sounds pretty shady.
Everything I do falls completely within the bounds of interstellar commerce law. Even so, many of my clients would prefer their transactions remain undisclosed. For example, suppose a Hanar ambassador was petitioning the council to reduce tariffs on Hanar goods. How would it look if he had money invested in a Hanar exporting company? Even if his true motives were to help his people, he would be accused of advancing the petition for his own personal gain. I can keep his personal finances private.
Still sounds shady to me.
Then we can only hope you will never be cursed with a large enough fortune to require my services.
Tell me more about the Shadow Broker.
Most people think I deal in finances, but my real currency is knowledge. I trade information, and it has made me very wealthy. But the Shadow Broker is the true master. Every day he buys and sells secrets that could topple governments, always giving them to the highest bidder. Yet somehow he never seems to upset the natural balance of power. All those secrets being passed around seem to even out. Nobody ends up with an advantage in the end.
Any guess what his identity might be?
I don't know. Nobody does. A Shadow Broker could be any race, any gender. I have a theory that it's actually an entire group working under one identity. How else could they juggle so many contacts at the same time? How else could they keep all that information from getting crossed? But they've got the perfect setup. Every government is forced to play their game so they don't get behind. But no matter how long you play, no matter how many secrets you buy, you can never win.
I thought you'd know more about the man you work for.
From time to time, I come across information I sell to the Shadow Broker. That's my only involvement. I like it that way. The more you know, the more dangerous the game becomes. I don't like danger, Commander. I'll leave that to you.
What's it like living here on the Citadel?
The station is without a doubt the greatest wonder in the galaxy. It is a technological marvel, but its true splendor goes much deeper than the hull and engines. From the Presidium to the wards, the entire station is a testament to the success of the Council. All the species of Citadel spaced together in a single, strong community.
What makes the Presidium so special?
It is the political center of Citadel space. 80% of all intelligent species in the known galaxy acknowledge the Council's authority on interstellar matters. But only the most powerful and influential species have embassies here on the Presidium. This level of the station is reserved for the elite, Shepard. People like us.
What are the wards like?
The cultural heart of the galaxy. They pulse with the lifeblood of millions of citizens from dozens of different species. You never know what you'll find out in the wards, Commander. It's always full of surprises. Fortunately, most of them are pleasant.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
I don't like him very much. He's kind of elitist and rude. I hate people who like want to other people be like, oh, they're not cool like us or whatever. Like, no, that's rude. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Let's level up while we're here. How many points do I have? I have 6. I'm gonna go ahead and input them in Intimidate because I like to do both. Unlock shotguns so I can start doing some damage there. I think that'll do it for me. Let's see. We need the decryption and the electronics, so that's what we're going to do with Kaden. And Ashley, just need to beef up all of her gun skills. Actually, I want to put some in her assault training too. That'll work. So I've pretty much run out of time, but I'm going to stop by the store real fast while we're here and sell some stuff. And then next time we'll pick up, starting with the Asari consort, I think. See, I don't need... She's the only one who needs assault rifles. Let's see. Cool. So let's sell off the stuff we don't need and talk to the Hanar.
Ah, human. This one is greatly pleased to see you here in my decadent emporium.
Who are you?
This one's face name is Delaninder, though many in this place simply refer to it as Delan. Please take time to examine the fine goods it has for purchase, all of great worth.
Show me your items.
Oh, this one is pleased to do so, human. You will not be disappointed.
I never understand how some people can, I'm going to keep those for now, can play without like managing their inventory. I feel like I need to have all the gear exactly right at all times. I've watched some people do playthroughs and they're like, oh, I just don't really care much about like loot or inventory, and I'm like, why? What makes the game more interesting, but also if you're playing on a harder difficulty, it's kind of necessary. I don't think I can wear medium armor yet. Let me put those. I didn't realize I had some ammo upgrades and such. I did put those in. I did. Cool. Let's go ahead and put one on the... Actually, I changed my mind. I put anti-personnel in the pistol, and I'm going to put the hammerhead in the shotgun. I don't think I had the other kind. No, I don't have any of those mods, just the ammo mods. Let's go ahead and give them some too. Cool. Wait, he has some more things to say.
Commander, it is good to see you again. Would you care to see some of its fantastic items today?
What exactly do you sell?
Only the finest and most luxurious items that credits can buy. This one is able to procure almost any item the human would desire, for a price, naturally.
Why do you refer to yourself as this one and it?
For the same reason that humans are so inquisitive. It is part of our culture. Specifically, Hanar only refer to themselves in the first person with family or intimates. And we rarely do so with other species. It is just our way.
Who are you?
This one's face name is Delaninder, though many in this place simply refer to it as Delan. Please take time to examine the fine goods it has for purchase, all of great worth.
Oh, look at the upgrades.
Show me your items.
Oh, this one is pleased to do so, human. You will not be disappointed.
I don't need any of that right now. Cool. So I'm going to grab these last couple of keepers that I know are over here. And then I'm going to leave us right outside the consort's chambers so that I know to pick it up there. I'm going to try and do that as much as possible, since I won't always know how much time is going to pass between streams of this game. I'm going to try and leave myself like at the next spot, you know, the next objective, the next thing I need to do, so that I can pick it up fairly easily. I have the time that I could stream longer, but I am getting a bit tired and I'm hungry. I'm ready to go start making dinner. So I think 3 hours is good for today.
That's enough. I've had my office rearranged 5 times.
5 times?
Cool. So this is where I need to be. So let me go ahead and save before I forget. Am I one of those people that does one more thing in games for hours? Absolutely. I'll get into like the little list of like the tiny side quests and just get like lost in it. Especially like in Skyrim. Like oh, these little things. I'll just take a minute and like 3 hours later. So I'm going to leave us here for today. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you next time.